Sup, flappers. Guess what time it is? Hello, hello. Yes, it's me, Beluga. And today, uh, Walrus is doing his thing again. So as an apology, we'll do a special quiz, and the winner can get a what is that? What is it called? Welkin Moon. And whoever wins the bonus will get, what is it called? BP. But I guess we'll do a warm up round. This one's there's no prize for this one. But warm up question. What is Walrus doing right now at this moment? Checking mail. I wish, but no. Gym, working out. Oh wait, that's Walrus. Breathing. Doing Genshin dailies. Duk Duk. Duk Duk sounds like the closest one I see here. Oh, not doing the Duk Duk again. Yes, correct. All right. I think that we're good with the warm up. Fighting for his life. Okay. What was it? What's oh, the rules is I'll ask the question. Whoever. Oh. Oh yeah. Whoever can get it right the fastest can get the Welkin Moon. Okay, here's the question. What are the names of our 3 cats? Oh, that was fast. Hanamichi Jabba. Correct. Sorry, I can't. I'm sorry if I butchered your name wrong. But if you can contact Walrus. You can I'll give I please let Walrus know that you won. Hanamichi and Ketchup. Nice. Okay, I guess I'll go with the bonus question. If you please identify all 3 cats. So, who is Hana and who is Michi and who is Jabba? Yeah, for real. Yeah, first one to identify all 3 breeds gets a big BP. Hana, the Scottish fold, Michi is the white one, and Java is the largest but the youngest. Enoji 777, you are correct. Yay! Was that too easy? Enoji 777 yeah, you can also message Walrus for that. What was it called again? BP? BP. Yeah, I think that was a bit too easy. Maybe we'll go with another one. What's a good question, Pompey?
I'm not made out of money. Ask them how old.
Okay, maybe this one's a bit hard. How old are the three cats? $60. And just so you know, if Walrus is summoning for you, make sure Hana ain't in the room. Oh, Hana. Hana is honestly the middle child. Middle child, very quiet. I think she must have sucked all the bad luck. Hello, what is this, a cat stream? Cat stream. Hana gives a 50% buff for Chi-Chi and Ketching. Java, I'd say 9 months. Hana is 2 years and Michi 8 years. I don't know, I'm speaking out of my mind. Not quite, not quite. Pretty close, but not quite. Hana is infinity luck. Thank you for Thomas. Okay, I'll give you a hint. Hana and Michi are actually the same age. They're only like a couple months apart. Java is 7, Hana is 3 years, and Michi. Very close, very close. Oh, Hana is here. Looks like Hana would like to join the stream today. Hana, come here. Okay, never mind. Java is 7, Hana and 4 year. Yes, 4. Hana and Michi are 4 years old. Hana, come. Hi. Hey. Oh, you're so pretty. They look young. Hana and Michi both look 5 years. Java looks at. Yeah, Hana and Michi are 4 years, but Java is not actually 7 months. She's a bit younger, actually. Oh no, Hana is. No, Hana is. I mean, Java is 4 months. Yes, correct. Java is 4 months. But Java is actually, yeah, she's going towards her 5 month, but she already looks pretty big to me. I can't even hold her anymore. Yeah, Java is huge for 4 months. I know she grew like crazy. I feel like I didn't take enough pictures of her. Oh my god, Walrus is done, guys. This must have been the fastest Dookie Dukes on record. Like, as I'm kind of struggling to to do the stream. Yeah, how does Walrus do it without shutting up for 2 hours? I don't even know. Walrus is done fighting for his life. Yes, he's if you can hear, he's flushing. His when is Walrus not fighting for his life? True. True. Hey, you don't have your pants on.
Monetized.
Yeah, you're gonna get demonetized if you don't wear that pants.
But I'm sitting down the whole time.
But you sometimes leave the room, right?
No.
When he fell down. He needs.
The Beluga champ wasn't even here when I fell in the kitchen.
Oh yeah, I heard about it. I was at work.
You're at a friend's house.
Oh, I was at a friend's house.
I was like, God help me. Hello. Woo. Hey yo, I just got back from the gym, boys and girls. Oh, dude, I was at the gym. Y'all won't believe me. I was like running, Jogging. What else do people do at the gym? What else? Rowing. Oh yeah, I believe me when I tell you I ran back home. I was like, God, I have to make it for this live stream. Look at me. Do I look swole? Oh yes, I heard the winner to the questions was Henoji, right? Were there two? What were the two? Who were the two winners, Beluga-chan? Let me see. I can just go up, right? Beluga-chan said one of them is Tran something something. Tranduk Nguyen. Which one did Tran win? Trung. Trung won the Welkin. Okay, okay. Trung won the Welkin. And then we got who won the BP? It's Henoji, right? Henoji won the BP. Okay. Sino lovers rise up. It's about to be our era. For sure. Alright. Make sure to DM me. This is sponsored by Beluga-chan. My camera froze. My camera just died. It's because I've gained so much muscle mass due to me hitting the gym that there's not enough bitrate in my camera and the thing to capture, you know, my frame anymore. Shame. Might have to go get an upgrade. I don't know why I made that sound. I'm just getting ready here, just warming up. As you guys know, Shukai is going to get interviewed today. I'm going to be asking him some questions. He's going to be basically representing the general player base as a public figure, okay? As a public figure. I'm going to be definitely building Sino. I don't know about Nilu. I don't know if I'm wanting to build Nilu. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not the biggest fan when it comes to funneling characters into a specific niche. In this case, Nilu is gonna have that Dendro incentive, I guess. I'm sure she can still vape, melt, freeze, and all that, but there's a heavy incentive put on playing her in a Dendro's reaction team, like a Bloom, Hyper Bloom, whatever team. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. It's just depending on how well I guess she performs her task overall, or she's just like a purely niche unit in the form of like Shenhe, like, right? Think about it. Shenhe could be played as a melt cryo support. Like she can melt, but nobody plays her like that now, do they? So that's my point. Just because they can doesn't mean you should, or it's like feasible. So we'll see how Nilu turns out. I do love her design. I think she's really cute. I think she, is charming, great characteristics. Even her combat style, from what we've seen in the live stream, just looks good. But it's just at this point, I have too many characters. I have way too many characters. It's just not reasonable at this point to continue just hoarding them for what I don't play most of them. Moonlight says the power of God and anime on our side. Don't you dare say Nilu like that, ours. How do you pronounce Nilu? Nilu. Nilo. What is the proper pronunciation for Nilou? Can somebody give me the phonetics? Like N Milo. Really? Really? Come again? In CN is Nilu, I think. Is it Neelu? Neelou? Nilo? Is it Nilu or Nilo? Milo. Or you can read the Chinese and pronounce. I mean, I could, but the Chinese for Tignari is Tinali, which means it's just Tinari. Right? So that's like if I were to just go off of the Chinese text, I would be saying Tinari. Because I when I have questions about how to pronounce a name, I always look at Chinese, and it turns out Tinari was not right. Yeah, because it's Tinali. If you go look at the Chinese life, they all say Tinali, 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 which is Tinari. They don't say Tignali, which is Tignari, right? They say Tinali, which is Tinari. Let's see. What do they call Nilu? Yeah, Nilu. Nilu. So here. Right here. As you guys can see, here is Nilu Sailo. What the fuck is that? Kaidisu? Or something like that. Or Kandisu? Something. Candice. Kan. Kai. Kan. It's probably either Kai or Kan. I don't really fully know that word. I think Sai No, Nilu, these two are very, very, very close. I mean, this one is very close as well. Most of their names are very close. But yeah, Nilu. So I'm just gonna call her Nilu. Silo? No, it's Sai No. Like N-U-O. Sai No. Fun fact, this is the same Sai as the Saiyan. You guys know Dragon Ball when they say like Saiyan? This is Sai Ya Ren. In Chinese, when you say Super Saiyan, you say 超级赛亚人. And it's the same Sai. Sai No and Sai Saiyan is the same Sai. That's the same Chinese character that they use. It also means racing, like, or race. Not the race like ethnicity race, but like racing, like in a race car race. Yeah, there's no in CN. Yeah, they say no. Shukai, welcome. Shukai, are you ready to do the interview? We can start immediately here because there's quite a bit that we can talk about, right? Shukai also have some questions for me. So if you guys ever want to hop on call, like anybody, Huangle, Moonlight, if you ever, like Marcus Bullock, if anybody ever wants to hop on call and interview me, ask me questions, anything you guys want to know, I'd be more than happy to welcome you onto a stream. You can sit down and we can talk anything you want, and I will give you my 2 cents. All right, let's see. Let's go to Shukai. Shukai. All right, I'm going to invite you to a voice call. Hello? Oh, wait. I think my mic.
Hello.
Oh, I can hear you nice and clear, Shukai. Let's see if chat can hear you. Ice Emperor, welcome back, I believe. Welcome back. Yeah, you got the badge. Welcome back to the Tusk gang here. Always nice having you. So, Shukai, why don't you introduce yourself a bit to chat for people who don't know you? So I'm sure most people do, but maybe like in terms of Genshin, what kind of player are you? Are you hardcore, casual? What have you spent on? What characters do you main? Just to give people an idea of whether or not they like you. I'm a Hu Tao main. Like, okay, Yoimiya mains be like, all right, time to roast this guy. But yeah.
I guess the easiest way to say is you're a returning customer.
Yes, 100% satisfaction.
Yes, so far 100%. I guess the most I spent was on C2 Raiden. Actually, it was quite lucky though. Still,
C2 Raiden. Okay, that's a. I think that's acceptable by chat, right? Chat. Out of 10, I think Shukai is a very reasonable sounding person so far. I would say.
Oh, wait till they hear that I'm a Kokomi main.
Oh. I mean, okay. The good thing is, Cheshire 54. Thank you. Welcome. Is this your first time being in the Tusk gang? Thank you so much. Yeah. For anybody wondering, oh my goodness, Lay 7 is here as well. Not a Eula main yeah. Not a Eula main. That's disappointing to hear, apparently, Shukai. Well,
disappointing.
So, Shukai, you did mention just now you are a Kokomi main. Please elaborate for chat. Why you have chosen to go in that direction?
Well, to be fair, actually I started Genshin when it was first released, but I think I stopped after 3 months. Then I came back to Genshin the moment I saw Kokomi's design.
Wait. You started since patch 1.0, and when did you stop?
I think just before Klee's release, which was, I think, not that long.
And you stopped all the way until when? Like, after Hu Tao came out?
No, until the Raiden's patch.
Oh, Henoji 777. Thank you, people, for the support. You know what? If you guys are wanting and are comfortable, we can start a little group chat. After Shukai, because Shukai, you did mention you can't stay for the whole stream, right? You got like exams and stuff to prepare for.
I think it should be fine now. I think it depends on how long.
Okay.
But I'll let you know if I need to go.
Okay. All right. So if you guys want to hop on call, I'll try to limit it to maybe 3 to 4 people maximum per call, so we don't kind of get too crazy here. All right. If you guys want, make sure to DM me in Discord. Like, hey, Walrus, I'd be down to hop on call on the live stream. Just let me know, and then afterwards I will check my Discord and we can see if we can get another call going, so we can get to know you guys a little bit better. Okay. So. All right, let's continue here, Shukai. You came back Raiden, so you missed out a whole, almost a year. I would say 10 months of banners, right, of characters and content.
Yeah, I guess I could say that. The time I came back was near the 1-year anniversary, if I'm not mistaken, since it was Raiden's patch.
And but you said you came back not for Raiden. You came back because you saw Kokomi got teased, right? Like they showcased Kokomi.
Oh, but I thought they teased it along with Raiden.
Oh, Kokomi.
She was the banner after Raiden, right?
Oh, were they on the same patch? I thought Raiden and Ayaka was on the same patch. Wait, am I? Did I slip into a different alternate universe? Wait, I thought it was Ayaka was first half, Raiden was second half. Somebody confirm.
I'm not.
Oh, Kokomi was in one of the trailers. Yeah, you may have seen the Kokomi trailer, and then you came back, but then I don't think she was live yet, right? Is that correct?
No. Yeah. I came back during the Raiden's initial banner release.
Oh, okay. So Raiden and Kokomi were in the same one. So Raiden was Kokomi, Raiden was first. So you're right. You came back after seeing... Yes. Wow, so did you pick up Raiden when you came back, or you just didn't care about Raiden and went straight for Kokomi?
Well, initially I didn't know about Raiden, to be honest. Then my friend... Then my friend told me that I should try to pull on her, so I got her in the first 10 pulls.
Okay.
So
this was going pretty well until you mentioned that. Now you're gonna get roasted by chat. I mean, Shukai.
No. Hear me out first. The reason I quit initially was because I was trying to get Venti. Lost pretty hard to dial up. So I'm pretty sure that 10 pool was leftover PT from the time I stopped.
Chad, what do you think? Does that sound legit? Yeah, Shukai is that one friend who's like, hey guys, I just came back to Genshin, haven't played for a year, did a tempo, got right in. Is she any good? Is she any good? Sus. I mean, hey. If you really got shafted that hard on Venti's banner, maybe it was justified. It was okay. It's okay. Okay, so tell us a little bit about maybe how much you've spent on Genshin, if you're okay with that. Like total. How much have you dropped on this game? And your thoughts on it, just generally.
Do get the monthly Welkin occasional BP. But I think in terms of like the reload wise for the Genesis crystals, I did go all the way to the maximum, but only one time for each.
So you've spent probably about like what, $300, like roughly?
Yeah, probably
$300 on the game. So what characters do you have? Do you have your game open? Can you kind of like run down, like, let's just talk about the ones you've invested into, not every one you own, like just the ones you've invested into. What characters are we looking at? Constellations and weapons.
Let me check real quick. But I think from the top of my head would be a C2 Raiden with a E2 engulfing.
Oh my god.
You remember that stream, right? We got the E2 engulfing when you get my C2 Raiden. We were trying to get the donut but failed. So I got the engulfing lightning instead.
You see, people, suffering from success is a real thing. The man was hunting for the Kokomi donut but ended up getting the Raiden R2 for her engulfing lightning, and here we are suffering, right? Moonlight's like, hold up, Chotomate. Yes, there's people who wanted the donut more than they wanted the engulfing lightning. Yeah. And we didn't get the donut, we ended up getting the engulfing lightning, and Shukai cried himself to sleep that night. Isn't that right, Shukai?
Actually was tempted to get it on the the current banner with the donut and Ganyu's weapon, but I refrained.
Smart move. So you have C2R2 Raiden, and then what else do you have? What about Kokomi? Let's hear your Kokomi. C6?
C0, unfortunately, but it is the only triple crown character I own.
Are you planning to hunt for more constellations on her reruns, or you're gonna leave her at C0?
Maybe after I invest in the other characters. Maybe I think currently I plan to hunt for Nilo and the Dendroarchon.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm just saying, if you're hunting for Nilu and you already have a Hydro waifu, isn't that cheating, Shukai? Would that be considered cheating? Chat? What does chat say? Is Shukai allowed to even look at another Hydro waifu the same way that he does Kokomi? I don't know, Shukai. You're. It's a little risky here, man. Not cheating. Okay, Miguel says not cheating. You can just get 4 wives. Wow. So 4 wives is like Kokomi, Venti, Nilu, and who? Raiden Shogun. Your 4 wives.
Why is Venti in there?
What? Who? What? Said who? What?
I didn't hear anything. No.
Yeah, no. I don't know. What? Who did I say?
I don't know.
Okay, so actually, the chat is right. You have 4 slots in a team, so technically you can have 4. I mean, you do have a second team in Abyss. In specific scenarios, you're allowed to have up to like 8 waifus. I guess they're right. I mean, go for it. Nilu is yours for the taking. What do you like about Nilu though? Like, from what, like, do you have vivid dreams about what she does? Is that like, like, do you know more than the average Joe when it comes to Nilu and Her
I
potential.
see. I might be more of an avid dreamer than the
Oh,
standard.
okay. So are you telling me that you want Nilu because you've been having these very vivid dreams? Is that why, or
Uh,
you've been wanting her ever since she was teased?
well, to be fair, it's more of a design more than her what she's
Hmm.
in doing in my dreams, I guess. But more of the design, I
Ah,
guess.
doing in your dreams. Okay. Sus. Very vivid dreams. I see. I wasn't talking about those dreams, but hey, that just shows Shukai, you're a healthy individual with a very, very bright imagination.
Oh,
Who else do Sino appear in your dreams too?
apparently it's not that
You see, now
in my
depending
dreams.
on how you answer this question, this can get very, very sus.
Let's just say Raiden is probably better during the dreaming phase, yeah?
Okay, yeah. I see. Candice, Raiden, Nilu, Kokomi, but not Klee, right? Like Klee, Chi, those are like they never appear.
Well, let's not go there. Huh?
Okay, so you're gonna go for Nilu. You already have Kokomi.
Probably
What teams are
a
you?
weapon as well.
And her weapon, like Nilu and her weapon.
Yeah, it depends on how well it goes, I guess.
Huh. Okay. So what teams are you planning to make with these new characters?
Well, I mean, Niru was like shown in the live stream to be a Dendro Hydro team comp support, I guess. Right? So most likely probably be Kokomi, Nilo, Dendro Traveler, and Kole for now until the Dendro Archon comes out, most likely.
So you're still using Kokomi as like the on-field character, like.
Probably because of Dendro's self damage, right?
Mm-hmm. So you're playing
I mean,
a Bloom team, essentially.
yeah.
Bloom, Hyper Bloom?
No, pure Bloom. I mean,
Just pure Bloom team.
It says that you cannot do Hyper Bloom or Burgeon, I think, in the live stream. They said purely. I mean, you only have like Hydro and Dendro in the team, so you won't have.
Like you won't even
Hyper
have
Bloom.
like any Hyper Bloom variants of this team. Like you're not thinking maybe you can drop Kale for I don't know, like official, because when you get Hyper Bloom, you also get Electro Charge. That's like they go hand in hand.
Well, I have to see until when she gets released, right? It's hard to tell right now.
So we got people in chat saying like you are gonna be down very, very bad for the Hydro Archon. Is that true? Are you just into the Hydro element as a whole? Like, do you find Hydro element units just be like your type, your thing?
Oh, seems to be that way.
Do you like Yalan? Like, did you like? What do you think about Yalan?
Well, great addition to the team, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you see her more as a meta pickup or just a general pickup? Like you liked her even without knowing what she did?
Oh, Yelan is more of like 50-50, half-half.
Okay. So I see Shukai probably doesn't like getting stepped on. Because Yalan definitely oozes that aura of like, you know, like I'm gonna sit on you and you're gonna enjoy it. Whereas Nilu Kokomi is more like the nurturing type, like, oh my goodness, Shukai, are you okay? Here, you know, have a snack or try this pancake, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, like they'll take care of you, right? They're the nurturing type. Whereas Yalan is the abusing type. Yeah, dominatrix. Yeah. Yelena is much more aggressive. So okay. Okay. Now we got the 3.1 and people kind of understand you a little better, right? Like we all know Shukai is a huge simp for nurturing Hydro characters. now let's talk about actually, you know what? I remember you said you wanted to ask me something, right? Like what do you have in mind? What would you
Uh,
like to know?
you want that here? It might be a bit controversial, no?
Let I'm all ears. Anything you want.
Probably for relevancy of like the more recent things might be that I've seen the people's arguments on like the anniversary
Mm,
rewards, as in like they have been saying, isn't the new update sufficient with the anime, the new events sufficient as an anniversary gift? But I just don't see it that way. I kind of think that having new content in every update is technically what you need to keep a game afloat, anyways. And
mm-hmm.
the anime is more of like, it's not more as in like for the players, but it is to get more new players coming into the game, right? It's like an advertisement.
Right, right. Okay, so in regards to that, what I want to say is, well, let's just first kind of look at it from the player's perspective, right? Getting a new anime, getting what was the other thing they talked about? The anime and the card game, like were
Yeah, I guess the card game, right? The TCG.
yeah. So getting the anime and getting a new permanent feature, is that not enough for the anniversary? Well, like, you know, first and foremost, I just want to get things clear in that Hoyoverse, I mean, they really, really don't like doing things just for the player base. Hoyoverse almost in every occasion, like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like in almost every occasion, they can only do something for us if it also benefits them. Does that make sense? Right, like,
It sounds about right.
yeah, like starting the new anime, like that's a great PR move for them. It benefits them immensely. Same thing with the TCG, right? Like a lot of this stuff is just, yes, it's good for the player base, but it also has to benefit Hoyoverse immensely. Like they have to have a legitimate reason to do it apart from the fact that this is going to be great for the players. I don't think, I mean, most companies, if not all, are like this, like, oh, we'll never do something just for the consumers if it doesn't directly also somehow benefits us. But Hoyoverse really takes this to the extreme. They are very, very, like, their priority is always focused on, okay, what can we gain from this? And then secondary is how can the players benefit from this, right? Right now, it's not a secret that Hoyoverse is trying to build their own what you might call it, like their own universe, right? Like what Marvel did. They're trying to build their own universe with their own characters. You can see them reusing characters, even from Honkai to Genshin. A lot of this stuff is an attempt to kind of get us familiar with these IPs. Now they're releasing the TCG. Genshin TCG, right? It's just taking the same IPs and now moving them into different categories. This is all an attempt to further promote and expose their characters to a wider audience. But at the same time, it's without a doubt, these are new features and new content for us to enjoy. But that doesn't take away the fact that, you know, they only exist to serve Hoyover's purpose. Whereas, let's think about it like this. If they were to design a new permanent game mode, sure, the players would be happier, and that definitely would be the overall better choice. But how does that benefit Hoyoverse? You see, that's the question here, right? Are they going to get more playing hours? They're going to get more playing hours regardless. Like with the TCG, they're probably going to get the same number of playing hours as, let's say, a co-op Spiral Abyss, and people might not agree with it. People are like, no, co-op Spiral Abyss is going to have way, way, way more playing hours. I highly doubt it. In fact, I would argue that a co-op Spiral Abyss would have less playing hours than a TCG, while also not offering Hoyoverse the equivalent of expanding their IP and exposing their characters and contents to a new audience or like a different audience. So, in response, so to answer that question is it not enough? Let's not kid ourselves. Obviously, it's not enough in comparison to what other companies are doing, right? But like I've mentioned before, I am okay with what we got because I have come to terms with what Hoyoverse is and what they try to do and how they want to continue developing their contents, their games, and just their universe of characters. I've come to terms with it, and I do think other people should come to terms with it as well. It's great that we got these things. Could we have gotten more? Of course we could, right? And it wouldn't even stretch HoYoverse's bank or resources at all. It's like almost effortless. They can probably design 3 permanent features per year for us to play and enjoy without even like feeling a slight dent in their bank account. But why don't they do it? Well, that's a question for that's going to be a question for another discussion. But I feel like is that answer adequate, Shukai, in chat?
Well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, there was one thing called the 5 stages of, what was that? Grief? Was it? Where in the end you just go into acceptance, right?
Yeah, 5 stages of grief. We're just getting griefed by HoYoverse at this point.
It's like, I mean, like, to be fair, like, out of all the gacha games I've played, I think Genshin's Anniversary is the least hyped. It's like that you won't even know that your anniversary is getting close.
Yeah, like most people, if I didn't make videos talking about it, people just forgot about it. Yeah, like it's really not something people look forward to. Like that's why I was memeing, right? Like this is literally the Chinese household experience. Like your birthday, your anniversary. Like who cares? Your parents certainly don't. what grades did you get? Are you bringing great exposure to the family, right? Like when we go to auntie and uncle's house, are you able to flex on auntie and uncle with some sort of achievement this year? How are your grades like? You know, like did you pass the piano exam or like anything, any sort of like achievement that you can use to flex? That's what Genshin does. Like who cares about our anniversary? Promote the game for us. Stream. Do you guys see the new the streamer event they just put out? Like who cares about the anniversary? Stream, and we'll give you primo gems for streaming. All they care about is exposure. That's all Genshin cares about.
We'll give you peanuts.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, it's no wonder people stop caring about the anniversary, because if they want to enjoy Genshin, they have to.
I mean, at this point, the 3.1 is just another patch, right? I'm probably more hyped of the Archon quest than the anniversary, to be honest.
Definitely. I think characters, Archon quest at this point, like the Archon quest is really picking up though. The story, and the direction it's moving in has really started to pick up. And with all the exposition at this point out of the way in 3.0, I'm hoping 3.1, 3.2 really picks up the pace, start answering some serious questions, at the same time posing new questions for us, right? We're getting to the point where some of these older questions should start getting resolved and answered, and we need to start posing newer questions at the core of the problem. So, let's see. There might be a huge plot twist coming soon. I'm not looking at leaks, by the way. How can you look at story leaks at this point? I'm talking about potentially 2-3 patches down the line. I'm thinking there's a huge twist coming. We're gonna get the twist, and then there's gonna be a new like goal or mission or like objective.
Walrus does not dream, huh?
Yep, I don't dream. I'm from Sumeru.
Under the Silver's rule.
Yep. Akira is saying, I mean, some of the videos presented in the second anniversary livestream on Bilibili were pretty hype, especially the Fatui Apart Winter fan video. Yeah, but they're like fan videos. I don't know how much of it is canon. I remember last year I watched the entire live stream with the fan stuff. Like, it's cool, but at the end of the day, you know, it's just like, it gives me too much hope, man. It just, when I look at that, I'm just like, damn, this game could be so hype and so like, you know, like, look at the amount of resources they can work with to build like more content upon, but they choose not to. Feels bad. And they got like all those fan submissions are done for free. Like HoYoverse literally got all that for free. Right? It's just you guys,
at this point,
like a lot of people don't know, like a lot of the artists who do this, like they can because now Hoyoverse showcase their artwork, they can use that as their portfolio going forward. So artists don't necessarily need money. Like this is one of the few scenarios where exposure actually is worthwhile for these artists. Like actually, you know, it's funny that we meme about like, oh, like I can pay you in exposure, right? But in this scenario, that's actually what's happening. They're getting paid in exposure and experience. So going forward, because their art was featured in the live stream, now they can take that, put it in their portfolios, and next time, like in the future, if they're going to go look for work and stuff and whatnot, they can actually reference back to that, which is huge for a lot, especially younger and artists who are like in the early stages of their career. Yeah, because Genshin is so big, that publicity is worth a lot. Like go find a game with like 3,000 concurrent players and see and then they make an announcement saying like, oh, we're doing anniversary, like submit your art and we'll feature it. Like not to be mean, but it's not gonna look too hot for for that video. You probably got like 15 submissions
if you're lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky. It's just Genshin has such like these artists, for the most part, they're very smart and business savvy. Like they know there's a great opportunity. They can leverage their skill in this moment. It's cool. Like it's cool the kind of stuff they do. But it just makes every time I see it, it's just like, damn it, this is what Genshin could be, and it makes me sad. It makes me sad.
It's literally the what if compilation, right?
Yeah, it's actually just a what if compilation. What if Hoyoverse cared the same amount about this as the players do, because the players really only think about the game from like a game perspective. We don't think about it as a business asset, right? To Hoyoverse, we have to understand Genshin is a business asset, like business asset much more than it is a game. Think about it like if you guys write a novel or something, right? Like you see that as like a product that you created, and you can go advertise it. Like how are you going to promote it to your friends, your families, or like to the publisher? But as a player, as somebody who goes to the bookstore, picks up your novel and reads it, do you think they're thinking about, oh, my publishing, like the legal, like the rights to the novel and like the IP and like all this back end stuff? The readers don't think about that. They pick up the book, they read a few chapters, like, okay, this is boring, they pull it down, they move on. Or they could be like, oh, you know, why is this character doing this? Like if you really, have you guys ever really gotten into a story and be like, oh my god, why does the character do that? Like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. Like, and the cliffhangers happen. You're so invested in the story. And then like sometimes you hate a character so much. That's good writing, right? You hate a character so damn much. You just want to go into the story and like punch them out yourself. That's like something that when you're on this side, when you're a consumer, you don't worry yourself, because once the book is done for the writer, which in this case for Genshin it's a live service, but for them, once the patch is done, once the content is released, they're moving on to the next step. Whereas the players are always lagging behind. We are now consuming what Hoyoverse worked on months ago. So it's very difficult now that we're giving feedback. They can only really take it forward as opposed to applying it backwards. So it's like what we're looking at for Hoyoverse here is just like we're always just behind them. Like we're months and months behind them.
Yeah.
So Shukai, here somebody has said this year is better than last year. Same 20 polls, but you didn't have to burn down the App Store to get it. What do you think about that? Right? What do you think about the rewards this year? Like we're getting 20 polls, same as last year, after the whole the like crazy thing went down. What do you think about the rewards?
To be fair, I mean, it is in a way better than last year, but if you see on the grand scheme, it's literally just Hoyo from last year being like, so this is the threshold I can go with, so we can just go with this minimum threshold, right? And the community would... This is the effect they're looking for. They just want the community to be like, it's better than the last year, it's not great, but it's still better than last year, right?
Yeah. But are you okay with that? Like, are you content? Are you happy, or are you disappointed? Like, how did you feel when this was released, like announced?
To be honest, I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm probably around your level of acceptance. Be like, this is what it is. This is just how this company rolls with you. It's like,
Yeah,
this is nothing.
honestly,
It's not surprising. Yeah,
to enjoy this game, you either have to be like a Zenist Buddhist kind of like all accepting creature, which then you get called by the community being like a wishy-washy white knight, right? Because you're okay with everything. And other people will say like you have no standards or quality when it comes to the media or contents you consume. If you think like I've gotten people who said like, well, if you enjoy Genshin in its current state, then you don't know what a good game is. So what do you think about that, Shukai? Like if you enjoy Genshin in its current state, does that really mean your standards of quality for content is low? What do you think?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think that Genshin is like near anywhere of what I think it should be.
Mhm.
But at this point, I mean, I still enjoy it, but I still think it could be much better. It doesn't mean I mean, if I'm gonna like wail about it all day, it's hard to even log in, right?
Yeah, exactly. We can perceive the game to be however we want it to be. We can choose to say it's bad, but still play it, then we feel miserable. Or we can choose to say, you know what, it's not that bad. Even though, yes, in actuality, it could be a lot better, but comparatively to, let's say, some other games, it's not that bad. Right? Like, it's really about perspective. And if you want to enjoy this game, you can enjoy this game. Although, yes, from the outside eye or from certain perspective, you might sound a bit copium. But hey, you do what you gotta do.
Sussy Lay 7
I mean,
just
I've been
applied
using
wet
the
status.
what they
Damn,
call my
that's
in-game
hot.
name as Cocopium for
CYAGTG
over
go study
a few
see
months
things
now.
have a good stream.
So Lay7 here says, see, I got to go study, see things have a good stream. Thank you, Lay7. Always nice to have you stop by. Hope everything's doing good, and reach out whenever you feel like it, okay? Stay safe, my friend. So yeah. Well then. What else do we want to talk about? Yes. Since we do have Shukai here, Shukai, I released a video yesterday talking about. I know it's not going to happen. All right, before we start this, I know it's never going to happen. Hoyoverse changing old characters, probably not going to happen. Even though I could make an argument saying that, well, they're going to do reruns, right? Like, for example, if they change Klee, they're going to do reruns. But I also understand that a lot of people already have these older characters, and even if they did a rerun, it doesn't change anything because you're basically giving free content or free money or free value to people who pulled an old character, and it doesn't set a great precedent. I know changing old characters is never going to happen. If anything, they'll take these awesome features and put them in a new character and sell them to you again, right? So, but that doesn't mean we can't have some fun. So Shukai, in your opinion, what is a character that should get a rework, and how would you rework them?
I'm not too sure what you covered in yesterday's video because I haven't watched it yet, but I think like for now that comes to my head is probably Yae Miko.
Miko? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's more of a quality of life probably, where I don't think it's necessary that her burst removes the totem, but I think that might be because of her weapons passive. I'm not too sure what does the Kagura's rarity do, but might be having something to do with her requiring to press the elemental skill, right?
Okay. Because right now, Yae Miko has two roles depending on what constellations you have at her. Like her before C5, she's like a burst support. After C6, she becomes an off-field electro DPS as well as a burst support. She now fulfills two roles, which is it's pretty insane. So you're saying that before C6 or like all throughout all of her constellations, her burst should not remove all her totems. But then what about refreshing their CDs?
So actually, that is what I think it should do. I mean, it would be fine, right? Just refreshing the duration as well.
But keeping the totems on field and then letting you choose when you want to refresh them.
Or maybe kind of like Kokomi's, where you just use the burst to extend the duration, right?
Oh, I see. But that would make her because right now the thing about her before C6 is that she's a burst support, but that would make her even before C6 like not the best but a somewhat more capable off-field DPS. That definitely would be a buff. Right, like that would
Either that
for sure
or,
be a buff.
I mean, either that or making her, the elemental skill dashes go faster, or even the iframe on it would be nice. Because I find myself sometimes getting slapped around while trying to set up her totems without a shielder.
Ah, I know that feeling. I get slapped around a little bit as well. She already takes up so much field time just setting up totems without actually doing anything, right? And a lot of the times people are just setting up the totems just so they can use their burst with without losing out on the damage on per totem. So I get what you mean. So in a way, to summarize what you're saying is you think Yaimiko should be adjusted to be a character that's more like less, I mean, not adjusted, just straight buffed to be a more capable off-field support DPS with less time to set up her totems. And also her burst does not remove her totem, meaning she has more effective uptime for her off-field DPS.
Yeah, probably. I mean, like if they fix her, I mean, if they make changes to her elemental skill itself, it'd probably be fine even if her burst removes her totem. So as long as her setup is more fluid, maybe.
Okay, so you're saying it's okay to have her burst remove her totem as long as reapplying those 3 totems are not as big of a pain in the ass as they are right now.
Yeah, I mean, a small step at a time, right?
I see. What if let's say, let me propose this. What if after her burst, at the burst location there is 1 totem? Is that okay? That means you only have to set up 2 more.
I mean, that is much better than what we have now, to be honest.
Right, like after her burst, instead of all 3 being removed, at the location where her final lightning strike appeared, there will be 1 Yaimiko totem.
That actually is a marginal increase, to be honest. I mean, a marginal, what they call, buff.
And then you just need to do 2.
Yeah, because 1 totem is, it takes quite a significant amount of time in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, it definitely adds up. Maybe like also in a constellation of something of some sort, you can have it like after her burst, she has 2 totems. Right,
That
like
sounds like a very MiHoYo thing to do, right?
right? Yeah. And then eventually, after every burst, she already has 2 totems on the field, and then you just have to drop 1 more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so stuff like that. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, definitely. I think if that were to be the case, she would suddenly become a much more capable off-field. Because right now, I feel like a lot of people prefer to use Fischl over Yaimiko. I mean, it's just not a lot of people even have Yaimiko, but I think Fischl definitely has risen up immensely over the last couple of, I mean, just this patch 3.0. What do I mean last couple of patches? It's literally just been 3.0. Can you tell me a little bit about the Dendro reactions and your experience with them? I know for the most part people have really enjoyed it. What about you? Like, what do you think about them?
Speaking about the Fischl in current patch, right? I think I did see compositions running Fischl Yaimiko with a Dendro and Anemo, I think, for the full aggro weight comp.
Yes, and also have Electro Res from the Viridescence. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I haven't got to build that, but I think I might try it personally. But I think I also seen, I'm not sure how meme it is, but full EM Raiden, have you seen it?
No, I
Not
have
using
not.
her burst.
I
They
have
are
not.
just using her E for like the hyper bloom procs.
How is it? Because I'd imagine it's very consistent, but the damage itself is not that impressive.
I think it's 30k per hyper bloom proc, but I mean if you're comparing to a full Raiden rotation, I would think a traditional Raiden rotation would do more net damage.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. But I think this is a decent, because if you have a C0 Raiden, it's definitely worth it to build like this full EM and just use her elemental skill. Like, it's not bad.
It probably is serviceable. Yeah.
But if you have a C2, C3 Raiden and you're playing her like that, that's a huge waste.
That'll be sus, right?
Yeah, that would be very sus.
I mean, I'm liking the Dendro reactions quite a bit, but I do think Burning and Burgeon might be on the weaker side.
Yeah,
So far,
because
probably,
they have Vaporize, right? And I don't think Vaporize is gonna go anywhere, especially after Hu Tao getting an indirect buff from the double Hydro.
yeah, the HP scaling.
Yeah, that is like quite absurd, to say the
I
least.
mean, the whole Hu Tao teams is benefiting from like the HP itself. Yelan, Xingqiu,
Yeah, Yalan, Xinqiu,
Hu Tao
Zhongli,
itself.
Hu Tao, they all benefit from it. It's crazy how big of a change that was for this particular team. I mean, Yoimiya also run a very similar team, but Yoimiya doesn't benefit from HP.
Yeah, I mean, I think the latest Yoimiya variations run Yunjin, right, which also does not really benefit much
Yeah,
from HP.
exactly. So it's like it's weird. It's definitely weird to see Hoyoverse making this change. I would imagine they knew what they were doing, because double Hydro Hu Tao teams started taking off after, like, on the same patch Yalan came out. But I think the decision to change Hydro Resonance was already made prior to Yalan's release. I mean,
Yeah,
I knew Yalan was going to be a game changer for the game, for the most part. Just by seeing her kit, her number, her scaling, her potential, it was evident that she was going to upset the meta. And I'm gonna do a little bit of a leak on my own video, meaning I'm gonna tell you what I said in that video, and tell me what you think, okay? In the video, I did say Zhao needed to be, and I think this was the most controversial one. I said it even in the video, and I was right. People were very polarized when it came to Zhao. When me mentioning Zhao needs a rework, not like a complete overhaul, keeping his kit 90% the same, but making very few adjustments, but I think will help him. So one of the things I said is we need to get rid of his C2 and C4 right now and change them to be something along the lines of either utility or more damage. So a utility feature I came up with was that I think Zhao could really benefit from like a constellation giving his plunges like a suction ability. So think Kazuha's hold ease range, but not as strong. Okay, and it doesn't do any damage. So the suction doesn't do damage. It only acts as a utility feature. Every time he plunges, he'll start pulling the mobs into the epicenter of his plunge. And the range of the suction is wider than his plunge attack. So mobs that are even further out from his plunge attack range starts getting sucked towards the center of his plunge attack, and it lasts throughout the entirety of his plunge attack. But it offers no damage bonus. It's just a utility feature. So that's one of them. And then the second change I was saying was that for his C6, there should be an additional effect for when he plunges a single just one enemy. So when he fights bosses, maybe like he'll have a smaller secondary plunge shockwave. This helps him deal damage to single targets. I don't know if you play Zhao, but I think these two changes can definitely put him more on par with like recent characters. I don't think he has severe energy issues, but I do think he has utility problems. A lot of people complain, especially even for mobs, like the wolves. Even the big wolves, not the boss, but like the big wolves, when Zhao plunges, they go backwards. The Abyss Lector, Abyss Heralds, when he plunges, they go backwards. So eventually, they all end up outside of his plunge range. And like when you're plunging at the epicenter and all the characters move away from you at the same pace, they all eventually end up outside of your range if you can't kill them fast enough. What ends up happening is, well, then you got to either wait for them to come back to melee range, but for some ranged enemies, they'll just stand outside of your plunge range and start attacking you from outside that range. It's very minor for the most part, but it's incredibly annoying. And a lot of other characters, if like most of them, don't have to deal with this issue. He's like the only plunge focused character in the game. So like what that's what I said, right? Like I think his constellations just needs an overhaul. I think Zhao has one of the weakest and weirdest constellations in the game.
I mean, to be very honest, I actually know very little about Xiao. It's not really a very prevalent character. As in, I don't really see much gameplay of him, but I do know his place in the plunge because I'm certainly. But I mean, his C4 is the defense piece, right?
Yes, his C4 is the defense buff. I think it doubles his defense or something, like 100%.
Yeah, that's really. I mean, for a C4, that's not really. That's really not worth your money. But I mean,
yeah, like when your HP falls below 50%, he gains a 100% defense bonus. That is I don't know what they were smoking. I would understand if that was like 100% attack percent bonus, which is way overpowered.
Yeah,
Probably like a 30% attack bonus, 35% would be nice, but a defense bonus, huh? It's almost like Hoyoverse doesn't know what their game is built around.
I see. I mean, out of the big three of Lyria, I definitely think his kit is not that coherent with his constellations and how he functions as an anemo character. So I think extra CC in this kit would help tremendously.
People
and play.
People are saying that if this was a Albedo constellation, it would be better, but they don't understand. When is Albedo ever gonna fall below 50% health? That is like right, like Albedo is never on the field, people. And Albedo is almost always played in a geocentric team or a Zhongli present team. Like when is Albedo ever going to be below half health? Ever.
That is very true.
Like, and that means this constellation just will never activate if it's on Albedo. If your Albedo falls below half health, you're doing something seriously wrong, unless you're like on purposefully doing it. Yeah, C4 Albedo is a Zhao buffer, but it doesn't make any sense because in most Zhao teams you don't have room for Albedo. I mean, you could put Albedo and Zhongli in a double Geo team with Zhao with like Bennett. You could, but it's just
what is a standard Xiao team comp?
Zhao team comp. It was like Zhao, wasn't it? Like Xingqiu, Jean, Zhongli, something like that. It's like usually it's like an off-field support DPS. Nowadays, I think no, they don't play. No, is it? I think Xiao double Geo and Jean. Okay, yeah. So Zhao can be played with Albedo, like Zhao Albedo Zhongli, Jean Albedo Zhongli Zhao. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, but I mean, I'm not sure, but I do think Xiao out of the big three is probably the least popular. Don't like don't get me for that, but that's what I perceive.
Yeah, like I think Zhao definitely is. When it comes to damage potential at C6, in the ideal situation, Zhao can be like one of the best. Like ideal situation. But it's just like he has so much waste in his kit and his constellations that at this point it's just like getting him to C6 is such a copium thing to do. And in many scenarios, not all, but many scenarios, his C6 won't even be able to activate against content. Like, can you imagine having a C6 that you just can't use for like 30 to 40% of the content you run into? That is like, Zhao is the legit definition of a glass cannon. That would be true if he was actually a cannon. Right now, Zhao feels like a glass pocket knife or like a fruit knife in comparison to other Genshin characters.
Constellation wise, I mean, if you're going to go all on a C6, I'm not sure what is the strongest C6, but I think maybe even a Yelan or some other character would be better
Like,
for C6 investment, right?
let's not even talk about like Yelan C6 versus Zhao C6. I've like freaking god. I feel like Zhao C6 versus a Hu Tao C1. In some cases, Zhao would still lose.
I mean, I would rather just go for Raiden, right?
Yeah, like C2 Raiden versus Zhao C6 in many scenarios, Zhao still loses. Zhao C6 only is better than most if he has like a bunch of like mobs to dash, like to plunge and then dash through. And it's tragic because in my video yesterday I also referenced that there shouldn't be a scenario where a C6 Zhao with his entire hyper carry team loses to a C6 Yelan playing by herself. Like one Yelan with no team resonance. Zhao has double geo resonance, like Zhongli shield shred, all the tools he needs in his best DPS team. God knows what constellations those characters are, and he still lost by like what 40 seconds to a Yelan by herself. How is that how is that fair? Like, how is that okay? How can anybody look at that and be like, oh, that's fine, Zhao's fine, he's okay?
I mean, there definitely must be some bias in the shell, right? I mean, every character will have its bias.
Yeah, but like one defense that actually is good that people said is like, well, C6 Yelan right now like outpaces a lot of characters. It's not just Zhao. It's not really that Zhao is falling behind. It's that C6 Yelan is power creeping the crap out of a lot of teams.
That defense falls apart if I just bring any other C6, right? I don't have to be Yelan C6. Like, I could say maybe, I'm not sure, any other C6, Ganyu C6 maybe?
I think Ganyu C6 is better than Zhao C6. I think Hu Tao C6 is also very like weird. Hu Tao C6 in many occasions also feel a little wonky.
What is Hu Tao C6 again?
Hu Tao C6 is if she reaches like 1 health, suddenly she gains like 100% crit rate and I think crit damage as well. Let me see.
I see, truly on the edge.
Oh, never mind. It triggers when Hu Tao's HP drops below 25%, or when she suffers a lethal strike. So Hu Tao will not die as a result. Additionally, for the next 10 seconds, all other elemental and physical resistance is increased by 200%, useless. Her crit rate is increased by 100%, and her resistance to interruption is greatly increased. This effect triggers automatically when Hu Tao has 1 HP left, and can occur once every 60 seconds. Quite a difficult constellation, really, to time. I mean, you could time it if you run her in a Zhongli team, meaning you'll never really take damage. So you can always control when you fall below 25% health. And once every 60 seconds, if you have a C6 character and you're spending more than 60 seconds per like chamber, which is going to be very awkward. So basically, you can proc this once per chamber in Abyss 12. Like every chamber, you will just proc this effect. And
so this sounds more like a failsafe, right?
Yeah, but you get 100% crit rate. Essentially, that's what it is. It gives you 100% crit rate. That's it. That's all it does. And like, if you want to care about like all elemental and physical resistance increased by 200, it doesn't matter because you have a Zhongli shield. It never matters.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think this will be a great constellation if instead of the 200% physical and elemental resist, you get like, I don't know, like 70% crit damage. That would be huge. And then the CD, the 60-second CD, for every pyro reaction you produce in this state, it reduces your cooldown by like 2 seconds.
That sounds fair.
Right? Like, you're not going to be able to get it to 0. No way. You can't. But like, you can shred it down immensely by doing a ton of damage, like Vaporize. Well, you can only proc Vaporize like 8 or 9 times. Maybe like 10 times, including her burst skill. If you do it right, and it's only for 10 seconds. Yeah, like after. So like with that, she could like her C6 will feel really, really good. Like that would be an amazing C6, and it still wouldn't beat Yelan. I don't think it can even beat Ito. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I think Ito C6 is like C6 Ito just breaks the game. I think C6 Ito and Yelan are similar. I don't know. Actually, I want to see a test. I don't have either of them as C6. I would love to see a test between C6 Ito and C6 Yelan, because I think C6 Ito is very, very strong. Like, way stronger than C6 Zhao. I'm pretty sure Yelan is better. I'm pretty sure Yelan is the best C6 in terms of damage right now in the game. But I'm sure Ito is not too far behind. Like, I'm sure Ito is probably like, what? C6 Ito might be top 3? If not top 5 in the game. C6, like maxed out characters.
Maybe. I mean, comparison to like gameplay wise, Ito is the closest comparison to Shells, right?
Yeah, like Ito is like an upgraded version of Zhao. Ito is basically what they took from Zhao's design, they learned from their mistakes, and then made Ito with that. Ito C6 is RNG. Ah, that's why. Yeah, Marcy says C6 Ito is nowhere used in speedrunning meta. That makes sense because his C6 does revolve around RNG. So like, I would imagine Ayaka, right, is very heavily utilized in speedrunning. I don't know if Ganyu still is. I think Ganyu also is still, C6 Ganyu is very beloved in speedrunning. In a way, C6 Hu Tao can also be utilized in speedrunning if you can keep her down at low health and just... What they do is they stack like 300 or 400 crit damage. Like 300 something % crit damage with her C6 because you get 100% crit rate, right? And then they just go in with that. And then they keep her at... They get her down to like very low health and they just nuke with her.
I see. Well, that does make sense. I mean, you can go all into crit damage once you have the guaranteed crit.
Yeah. Kind of nutty, to be honest. Yeah, I can see Shenhe being used a lot. Like, C6 Shenhe is nutty as hell as well. I almost want to say Shenhe was a character designed for, like, whales. For min-maxing whales.
Isn't she? She is still for whales, right?
Yeah, Shenhe is designed for whales. Like, free-to-plays, low spenders can't really use Shenhe, like, to her potential. Very difficult. Like, you can, but it's very difficult.
I think one of Shenhe's constellation removes the limit on her buffs on charge attacks, right? Which I think they use on Ayaka.
Yep. Let me go find that one. Where did she go? She's here somewhere. Let me just find her. Shenhe. Here, let me remove chat from the screen. I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry. But this is for your own good because I'm sure you guys want to read this as well. Oh yeah, so this one is the standard one. Divine Maiden lasts for 6 seconds longer. Activate characters within this self-effect. They'll increase cryo crit damage. At C2, you already get 15% increased crit damage for cryo. C4 is when character under the effect of Icy Quill applied by Shenhe trigger its damage bonus effect, Shenhe will gain a Skyfrost mantra stack. When Shenhe uses Spring Spirit Summoning, she will consume all stacks, increase the damage of that Spring Spirit Summoning by 5% for each stack consumed. Max 50 stacks last for 60 seconds. Jesus Christ. Wait a minute. So she can get 250% damage bonus if she's at max stack. C6. When characters trigger Icy Quill's effect using normal and charged attack damage, it does not count towards the trigger quota. That's the one! That's the one! Yep. Normal and charge attacks do not count. C6 Ganyu will love will love this as well, right? C6 Ganyu with her triple I believe she has 3 E's or 2 E's. How many E's will Ganyu have at C6?
2, was it?
Was it 2 or 3? I think 2. I think 2, you're right. Her it doesn't say. It's just a gain one additional. And I'm too lazy to switch over, but I'm too committed to this now. I'm pretty sure it's 2. She has 1 by default.
Yeah, but I mean, I think in the long run, if more, I mean, even with the current cryo lineup, Shenhe might be like a good long-term investment if you get her constellations like slowly, eventually maybe. Even C2 is quite good, right, for Shenhe.
Yeah, Shenhe is gonna age extremely well. Like all of these dedicated buffers are gonna be really, really well going forward because they'll always have a usefulness as long as someone of their element is useful. And it's hard for me to imagine a single scenario where an element just becomes useless. Just look at like Geode. We constantly say now with Electro getting their Dendro reactions, Geo characters are probably on the weaker side when it comes to reactions. But then you still look at characters like Ito with his dedicated buffers, and then you evaluate his potential in the game. It's still very, very good. Like people who've invested into Ito and Ito teams are very happy and well off playing the game. Like they're doing massive amount of damage.
I mean, I do plan to probably get her signature weapon maybe down the line, either that or Constellations, after I'm done with the Sumeru characters, perhaps.
Slowbro is asking, is that Shukai talking? Yep, that is Shukai. If you guys have never met Shukai, this is Shukai, and he's got quite the sexy voice.
Oh my.
Shukai for the next husbando.
Oh, please no.
So Kizapolar says, I got Shenhe weapon during her first run. Now all I gotta do is wait for her rerun and I'll be powerful. Trust me, she really supercharges your cryo characters. Although her at C0 is very limited, you just have to cycle through the team a little more. What I've noticed with Shenhe and in a cryo team is oftentimes like you really have to, if you want Shenhe to feel useful, you need to hyper invest into Ayaka. Because you in this team, you actually spend a lot more time on Ayaka than you would imagine. My Ayaka with 226 it doesn't feel like sufficient enough, right? I have 868. It still doesn't feel good enough. I feel like I need better artifacts for her. If I think I want her to be 250 crit damage plus, and as much attack I can stand, maybe like 2000 plus. Ayaka's like my Ayaka right now, she's good, but in some Abyss 12 scenarios, I just feels like her damage is a little lacking. Just a little bit. Yeah, but
what does the Shenhe's weapon do again?
Shenhe's weapon so she gains 12% all elemental damage bonus, obtain consummation for 20 seconds after using an elemental skill, causing attack to increase by 3.2% per second. This attack increase has a maximum of 6 stacks. So it's like 18%, right? Yeah.
That's not bad, right?
Yeah, because attack scales back to her buffing.
Yeah.
She's a really good character. I probably need to level this stuff up as well. But I kept her at Ascension 4, and she's been like helping with 36 star clears even at this stage. So I don't know, like I have too many characters. Right now I have way too many characters. The next character I'm trying to decide who I want to build up next. I have Tignari here at Ascension 4, and he's actually, surprising enough, Tignari at Ascension 4, although he can't 36 star clear the Abyss, he still feels like potent enough that I don't think I'll get him to level 80. I don't think I'll be playing this character very much. After testing and testing and playing, he's fun to play in Quicken and Aggravate team, but I don't think I'll continue playing him because I foresee myself picking up the Dendro Archon, and I'll hide them, and then going with those two potentially if I want to play a Dendro centric team potentially. Who knows? Maybe eventually I'll come back to him. But right now with his playstyle, it feels just a little repetitive for me. And even when I level him up fully, maybe once I accidentally get a couple more of his constellations. Who knows? If I lose my 50-50, I'm hoping for some Tignari constellations.
His playstyle is pretty similar to Ganyu, no?
Yeah, very, very similar. It's like C6 Ganyu almost. Yep. Actually, his C2 is not too bad. His C1 is okay as well. Mono teams. Actually, while we're on the topic of mono teams, mono teams are actually disgustingly good in this game. I don't know if people have talked about this or thought about this, but mono teams in Genshin Impact, it's like they're disgustingly good. But it makes sense because they're niches, right? Like if you run into a cryo enemy, you just can't use your cryo. Like you might have invested your entire life savings and then some into your cryo team, and then you run into like a cryo hypostasis floor. Your cryo team ain't gonna do jack. You can't do anything. That's why it's always like you should be having two different, very, very different teams. Imagine if you have like a cryo team and the other team is like a Eula team. And that's all you have. And then you run into the cryo hypostasis. Like what are you gonna do?
I guess you just cry, right?
or like you have like two freeze teams. You have a Ayaka on hit freeze team, and then you have a Ganyu Kokomi freeze team. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I've met people who only plays one element.
I mean, technically you can build that, right? Singchu with Ayaka and then a Morgana freeze team on the other.
Yeah. So it's just like it's kind of awkward when you run into those scenarios. Right now, I think having a mono elemental team is a good idea. You can do mono cryo, mono geo, or not mono electro, but kind of, because Raiden Hyper Carry essentially is a mono electro team. But some would argue it's like, oh well, yeah, you have Bennett. Bennett. Every time this character comes up, it's just like he does too many things. He does way too many things. You see, there was the cheese people used to do with Bennett for the Electro Herald. Was it the Electro Herald or Lecter? Electro Lecter, right? Where you run 4-piece Thundering Fury and then just spam Bennett's burst and his elemental skill to break the shield. Like that. Like, come on, man. Like that character, bro. Like, so that's why when people say like, well, Raiden team, Bennett is very much like a centerpiece around that team because of his elemental application.
I mean, essentially Raiden teams in National is a rainbow element team, right? Since, I mean, you pretty much could deal with most elements since that each of those characters can carry a significant amount of damage on their own.
Yes, Kazuha, Bennett, both can do a lot. I mean, Sarah is the only... I mean, Sarah can do a ton of electro damage, but that's like in the same category as Raiden. But you got a wide range of coverage. And also with Kazuha, you can also utilize the enemy's elements against them. So if you ever have like a situation where like an electro abyss mage appears with like a pyro abyss mage or something, or a cryo abyss mage, you can just swirl those two and they kind of screw each other. I mean, then again, you have Bennett. So it's like...
Someone in chat was asking, is Bennett worth C6ing? I don't know about that, but I did mine.
Okay, in full honesty, I think C6ing Bennett is fine. The meme... I mean, not the meme, like... a lot of people are holding on to the belief that like, oh, what if a future character comes out that, has a problem with Red? But look at Cynote. Did you guys notice what they said for Cynote in the live stream? Elemental infusion that cannot be overwritten. Listen, people, it's
Yes.
the era of Bennett screwing over your reactions and your infusions is over. It was an oversight by Hoyoverse back in the day, but now it's not a problem anymore. All these characters that have infusion are coming out with specific text that's saying like what their infusion cannot be overwritten. Right?
I mean, a lot of the characters do have that text where it cannot be overridden.
Yeah.
Overwritten by.
The Raika says C6 Bennett kills all future physical characters. Now you see, I don't know about that as well, right? Because look at Eula. How does she do physical damage? How? She stacks up her burst. Does it really matter if she's doing pyro auto attacks or what? As long as she's hitting the enemies, it's stacking up her burst. The only one right now people could say like, oh well, she messes up Razor, right? Messes up Razor. It's like I won't risk it. Like yeah, it's fine, but in situations where if you ever run Bennett in a pyro based team, you know he actually offers quite a bit of additional bonuses. It doesn't really matter for a lot of his most popular teams, right? Like you have national team, Raiden hyper carry teams. Nowadays, people don't even run Bennett and Yoimiya teams, which is sad because it was a pretty sizable bonus. But limiting Yoimiya to that specific range, that area of her attack, meaning you can't really leave the Bennett circle, but at the same time Yoimiya just like dancing her way backwards every time she shoots. It's very awkward. So honestly, Bennett, if you guys think about it, Bennett is only existing in a few select good teams. He's starting to get phased out. If you guys notice it.
The current Dendro meta, I think it might be even more so because I think EM is more central to Dendro teams than attack percent.
Yes. So I can definitely see them phasing Bennett out. But I think national teams and these Raiden Hypercarry teams will still always be strong. But there's just going to be really amazing options. I look at Hu Tao teams. I used to play Hu Tao with Bennett. And I know I got a lot of people memeing on me for that. But what I used to do was like I would use Hu Tao with Bennett and I would get Hu Tao really low, use Bennett's burst. And for the first three charge attacks, I would get the huge bonuses from both Hu Tao below 50% as well as Bennett's circle. And I would dash out of his circle before Hu Tao goes above 50% and continue using Hu Tao like that. But I know it was very inefficient, but at the time it just felt nice. I had Bennett and Zhongli on the same team and I was essentially unkillable, and I also got the 25% attack bonus. Although I know Hu Tao doesn't scale well with attack, but it was nice. It was nice. I should have C6 Bennett back then to get how much was the bonus? Like C6ing Bennett would have given
25%, right? I think
25%. It would have gave Hu Tao an additional 25% damage bonus. Oh, 15. 15%.
Oh, 15 pyro.
Yeah, 15% power bonus, which is good. But no character nowadays really uses it, with exceptions to Xiangling. Xiangling is like the only one who's taking advantage. 15% pyro damage for Xiangling is huge, though. She deals a massive amount of pyro damage.
I mean, I can foresee it being useful for maybe future pyro DPS, maybe.
Yeah, like I do think that people are. It's okay not to see C6 Bennett because right now there's really no team that demands it, right? Even when I said Xiangling benefits from it, but Xiangling does so much damage without it that even without it, she's fine. Right. So, but
with you, I did it because of like the constant exclamation mark.
Yeah, like I did it because I started realizing like that's just damage on the table that I'm not utilizing. Even though I don't need it, it's nice to have it. And I don't foresee any future characters getting screwed by Bennett C6 because Bennett is going to become a more and more niche characters as time goes on. So what people essentially are doing right now is it's just a matter of time before you C6 him, and then it's just now if you ever run Xiangling, you're not getting the full C6 Bennett buff.
It's probably an eventuality, to be honest.
Yeah, like you guys are gonna C6 him eventually, unless you're just that stubborn to the point where even like future physical DPS characters come out and Hoyoverse finds a way to say like will not have like cannot have infusion. Like they might have an enhanced mode where, oh, after using your burst, your physical DPS is increased by like gains 20% crit rate and 50% crit damage, and then you like your physical damage cannot be overwritten. Like it's very easy for them just to write that and apply it, and then you can, and they scale off of attack. They can use Bennett, and you can have Bennett C6. It doesn't matter. Like that's a scenario where you guys are saying like, I'm not gonna C6 Bennett because if ever in the future a physical DPS comes out, C6 Bennett is just gonna override it. But Hoyoverse knows of this issue, right? Or the C6 or the physical carry comes out and they don't even want Bennett on their team. They scale with like defense, or they scale with HP or EM or ER.
You know what I think about it? I'll probably think that they'll release a 4-star character that's dedicated to buff physical damage.
Probably like a 4-star character that's either Electro or Cryo would be pretty nice, because then that 4-star character can not only buff physical damage but also debuff the enemies through superconduct.
Most likely.
Like people understand, why would they even like incentivize Bennett in a physical carry team? It doesn't make sense. Right.
I mean, why not sell an extra character, right?
Yeah, like Bennett has already enough versatility. That's why like it's so damn hard to convince people as well, because it just feels like I'm trying to force them to make a risky move. If you don't want to C6 your Bennett, that's fine. That's 100% fine. But I'm just saying that's damage left on the table that I guarantee you in the future it's not going to affect you whatsoever. Because like just look at how Hoyoverse is designing characters. It's very obvious to see that Bennett C6 won't really be an issue going forward.
I mean, it already isn't that much of an issue right now, in my opinion.
And do you know what's my conspiracy for why Hoyoverse doesn't want to add toggle constellations? Chat, are you guys curious? I have a pretty interesting conspiracy. I'm gonna say it anyways. I think Hoyoverse doesn't want to add the feature of toggle constellations because then it opens up like coding in the game that allows hackers to toggle constellations and bypass the constellation requirements for activation. Because right now, if you think about it, in their coding, if you want to get the constellations, you have to activate the constellations. But if they add like a secondary feature, meaning like toggleable constellations, that's just an extra feature for people to go and abuse, like hackers. Like there are people who hack Genshin, like 100% there are people who hack Genshin. And if they open up like an extra step or like an additional way to play around with constellations, maybe people will somehow skip the need to activate constellations and just somehow trick the system in thinking they already have the constellation and they just need to toggle it on and off. I mean, it's a very small issue, but that's still something people can abuse. Why, like, coding something extra, just like anything extra in the game as lines of code just leaves room for people to try and break and play around with. But it's a conspiracy, right? It's just, does Hoyoverse want to add extra lines of code and features into the game where they can easily just bypass this issue with better game design or like more restrictive design in ways that like design future characters to make sure their infusion don't get overwritten by Bennett C6. Stuff like that, right?
I mean, technically, isn't it like if the hackers could have hacked the game in the first place, even if they added extra features, they would have found a way to hack it anyways?
Yes, but right now they just have to combat the one issue. But in the future, for every update, they have to then continuously repatch 2 features. It's double the workload. Because they have toggle and they have constellation activation. Now they just need to make sure, okay, let's make sure people don't screw around with this. All right, let's protect this, let's keep it safe, we keep an eye on it. But then if they add that one, then it's like, okay, now we got to keep an eye on both of these things. Make sure, like, we don't have any loopholes in this, like this update didn't break anything. Because with continuous development of the game, they might add new things that they don't even know is affecting like things, but like hackers or like people who design this kind of stuff will like figure it out somehow, right? So HoYoverse, they just have to divert extra resources every single patch going forward to making sure this feature doesn't get abused.
Either that or they can improve their anti-hack system, I guess.
Yeah, but like, why would they do that?
anti-
Because that costs more money, right? Like, I think I remember I have a friend who works as a programmer, and he's like, MiHoYo uses like some really shitty anti cheats.
I mean, wasn't there like a recent thing where like hackers were abusing the Genshin's anti-hack to like actually hack your computer?
Yeah, like it's just most companies, they like, with the exceptions to Riot. We can hate on League of Legends as much as we want, but Riot actually took the time to develop their in-house anti-cheats. Because games like Genshin, games like these like Apex Legends and all these other games, they use like anti-cheat by a third party, right? And those anti-cheats have been around the market for like years, if not some like decades. And like hackers are just having a field day with these anti-cheats. Like to some hackers, these like might as well not even exist. Like there might not even be an anti-cheat, right? But when it comes to I mean, even Valorant, even with their in-house developed anti-cheat, there are still hacks in those games. Like just imagine how many instances of hacking and content abuse there are in games like Genshin. It's just most of us don't know about it because hackers will never put that stuff online. But I'm 100% certain HoYoverse is aware that there's this issue. They'll never come out and say it because it doesn't like it shouldn't concern the player base. But one of the reasons I think they don't want to continue adding like features to constellations and toggling is because that just opens up new avenues for people to abuse this stuff. And it makes it like in some cases it might even be easier because HoYoverse might not be able to foolproof the entire thing, right? Even though they have the money to hire like probably some of the best programmers in the world to design this system, but why would they do that?
I mean,
You know?
I'm not really sure how people get their accounts hacked, but I mean, the amount of people that get their Genshin account hacked
I mean,
is also.
I'm just saying, kids are very impressionable, very easy to manipulate. You tell them, hey, free primo gems if you click on this link. I would say like 2 out of 10 people are gonna click on it. Like from the Genshin community. Like you randomly select 10 people from the Genshin community and tell them, hey, click on this link for free primos. 2 of them are gonna click on it. That's just like they're very naive, very easily manipulated.
Free primos, sign me up.
Yeah, sign me up. Don't. Oh, I'm using my dad's laptop, so it doesn't matter. Oh, rip daddy-o.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Spanish Twitch streamer streaming 3.0 a week before it came out was funny. Dude, like it blows my mind how HoYoverse continuously have this stuff like leak out. How does that even happen?
Wait, so the streamer got hands on the full stream?
No. I don't think it's the full 3.0 live stream, but I think he was streaming like Sumeru before it even came out.
Or you mean the content?
Yeah, I think he was in the beta test. No, I didn't see it though, but like I'm pretty sure he was either in beta or he had footage from the beta and he was just streaming it.
It's interesting.
Basically everything except the story. Yep. I mean, there's a huge audience for that type of content. All right, let me see if I can pull more people into our discussion here. If people want to join, oh, Algiri, that's for the giveaway winner. Kazen, are you still around? I wonder what his let me just call him and let me add him to this call.
Alright.
Are you still available. Shukai. Wait, I need to add Shukai first. Wait, let me add. Wait, Shukai. Can you accept my friend request, Shukai, real quick? So Kazin, you can join the call. I'm here on in a call in Discord, and then I want to add Shukai. So just hop in call here in Discord, Kazin. So hello, hello. Oh, I think he might be muted. I see you've joined, but I can't hear you yet.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, there we go. So, Kazan, how should I address you?
Caden's fine.
Oh, it's Kazan.
Okay, yeah. I know different, countries, cultures, they pronounce things differently. It's all good though.
All right. Kazan, can you first accept my friend request here so I can pull Shukai in here? So once Shukai accepts my friend request, I'll be able to get Shukai in here. We can all kind of just mingle around. So yeah, while we're waiting for that, what can you let us know a little bit about yourself, like your preferences, who you main, stuff like that, like how much you've spent on the game. All right, there we go. Shukai's in here. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Am I in?
Yes, you're in. I can hear you, and we're just waiting on Kazan here. He suddenly went silent again.
Maybe he has to go think about what he actually means very carefully.
Yeah, when you get put on the spotlight like this, it really puts life into perspective. Just how many enemies you can create with a with a few words on the internet. Okay, so he is Marcus Bullock. He's been around for a long time. Tiosu says, Sup Wars, what's up, my friend? 17 month. We're just here interviewing some of the viewers, like seeing what they have to say, like what their thoughts are, giving people a chance to kind of come on and speak their mind. Kisa Pollard says, my sister is a programmer, and even she said it's not that hard if you know what to look for in the code. Yeah. It's like people who knows what to do. It's pretty scary how easy and how vulnerable a lot of this stuff is. Ainan Moni says, hi, just subscribe. Welcome, Ainan. What's up?
So, what's your next character you might be thinking of getting?
I'm thinking of getting definitely Sino. I want to pick up because I've been kind of drooling over that Anubis design, and just now knowing he's a spear user, like I'm a huge sucker for spear user. Evidently, with Hu Tao and whatnot, been playing her for the longest time. I just think spear users are really cool. Yeah, so for sure I'm gonna pick up Sino. I don't know about Nilu.
I see. I mean, at this point, wasn't the meme being Polam Impact at this point?
Polam Impact?
Because they were memeing about the number of Polam users in the Genshin.
That is true. But like Polarm is such a cool design, is it not? Like I can't be the only one who's a huge sucker for Polarm users.
Well, yeah, I mean, polearm is also probably my favorite weapon class in Genshin.
I might actually see like how many polearms we're working with. I mean,
Candace is also a polearm user, right?
that's true. Actually, this we can't tell from here. We need to go into the character. So we got sword, bow, polearm. Sword, bow, polearm. Claymore. Wow, that's like my first claymore. Like, I'm really not a big fan of claymores, evidently.
Me too. It's probably my least favorite weapon type. It's too slow.
Sword. Oh no, Kazin is struggling with his mic here. No.
Guys.
Oh, there it is. We heard him,
He's back.
and now he's out again. Wait, how come? Is it? Are you using a Bluetooth device?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, there we go.
Is that why? Is that why he's having a hard time hearing me?
Maybe, but like we're good now. We
Okay.
can hear you.
All right,
Okay.
cool. Just making sure.
So on YouTube, you're known as Marcus.
Yeah.
So I guess going with Marcus, people would know better. Okay, so Marcus, welcome. I think this is the first time we've ever had you on here, or even me talking to you, hearing your voice. And I know you've been here for a while, right? So let us know a little bit about yourself, who you main, how much you've spent. Like maybe what you're excited for the upcoming content.
Yeah, good start. Let me think. Let's see. I actually started way earlier, even before like Unizuma came out. But at the time, I had like no idea what I was doing. I was just playing the game for the fun of it. In fact, I think my first 5-star, and I didn't even know how to pity work or anything. I don't even know if like that Homa incident with Teki, I didn't even know like that was a thing until later. Whatever Child's second rerun, I believe that's when I started playing.
Oh,
and then I stopped. Yeah, I got him. Of course, yep, I got him. I leveled him up a little bit, not fully maxed, but I was still a casual player at the time. I didn't start going in until literally all the way till 2.1. It was I was around right when Raiden come. Funny, coincidentally enough, just like the other guy.
Oh, so both of you guys were kind of like,
yep,
around at that time, 2.1.
Around that time, yeah, yep.
Ah,
man of culture indeed.
I guess. What? Oh, it is.
A man of culture indeed, fellow man of culture.
Yeah. Coach, guys, okay. Just want to make sure I heard you correctly. Yes, yeah.
So
you could say that. It's funny because I didn't even think of how popular she. Like, I didn't realize how big of a deal she was. I got her, then I see everyone on Twitter and stuff getting mad. Like, how did you get her? And I'm just like, bro, I don't know. It just pulled, and she came on. Man. So don't blame me.
Both of you guys are the type of players to be like, yo, I just got Raiden. Is she good?
Yes. Is he good? Free to play, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. Living means.
She was an Archon.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't realize Archons were like such a huge deal. So when I pulled her, I thought it was just a cool character. Just like with Honkai, I pulled the Hersager of Human. I'm like, I don't know, is this character good? And she's like, oh, that's that new character that came out. I'm like, what? I mean, now I follow meta and stuff thanks to Walrus and the videos and stuff like that. I've been following for a few months, but back then when I first started,
a lot of people in this theory crafting community would get really upset at you just saying, I follow the meta because of Walrus. Oh my god. That's
C2. Yep.
Yeah.
Gonna cause some problems.
Sifu, Chi battery, like off field. I may not be the most hardcore meta player, but for the most part, the things that I do talk about are like somewhat meta. Because I don't talk about them unless it works for me. And I'm like a very questionable gamer at best. So if it works for me, I'm very confident that like people can play around with it. Tiosu says Zajev is be screaming right now. But anyways, I would consider myself a casual meta player. Casual meta.
Yeah, so, I would say I'm the same in a way.
Yeah.
Like I made no teams, riding national. But speaking of, mind you, I'm not like how people like you have to use these characters for certain stuff. I literally like just got like Jinx show up, I believe like this year, like early this year in the beginning, and I just started leveling them up. So I don't use meta teams. I use very either niche or characters that aren't even like
Makes
considered
sense.
meta.
Makes
I
sense.
still don't even have freaking Cookie, so I don't have an electric healer, which would be nice. I would definitely, use her if I had her, but I don't got her yet. Because I
Yeah, I
wasn't
mean,
pulling on that second Edo banner at the time.
it makes sense how you've been able to enjoy my content for so long because we're very similar in terms of how we like to play the game. Okay.
People like to play, yeah, very strict. With at least with Genshin, I don't know about other gacha games, but this fandom, yeah, man, you don't play a certain way, people get very, I
Yeah.
guess, anal is the word.
I mean,
Yeah,
to be
Yeah.
honest, you'll be walking on eggshells in this community at times.
Like
You'll be
there's only two ways to kind of find a like a belonging in this community. Is either one, you are like a hyper knowledgeable dude who either writes papers or spend all their time reading papers, or you are like a hardcore fan of like one or maybe two characters, and like that's all you play. Like you make those characters work. Like you just embody the toxicity. Like I'm an Ayaka main, fuck Ganyu players. Like like then you'll have a belonging in the Ayaka fandom, and that's how you can find a place in this community. But if you're like a wishy-washy, like I'll try anything type of deal, you're just gonna find enemies everywhere you go. Like no cap. That's so
you can be the nicest person in the
Oh,
world,
yeah.
and people will still hate you.
It's literally
like, you play this team, you're trash. You should be this guy. Yep, I
Yeah.
get it.
like literally is like you can it's kind of like saying like, oh, I don't like you can tell someone like, I don't like broccoli, and then like they'll interpret it as like, oh, so you're saying all like vegetarians should just kill themselves, like stuff like that. It's just like no, that's not what I said.
Take it to 0 to 100.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what you're
exactly
saying is-
it's exactly how the Genshin community is. So yeah, it's no surprise that I was able to surprisingly foster a community in over here, because we literally are like the outcast of the Genshin community. Anybody who agrees with half the stuff I say immediately gets shafted by like
Kicked out the
90% of the
group.
Genshin community.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
we're our
aura
own
scheme that he
little
has right
walrus
now.
gang, It's cool though. Like I said before, like compared to most people with this game, YouTubers, Twitch, it doesn't matter. You're definitely the most mature and level. It's probably due to your age and stuff. But at the same time, you're reasonable. It's not like you just believe in what you believe in. You're willing to hear people out, and you admit to your mistakes. Not many people, especially in the public face of the eye, is willing to do that. They like to keep up this image of themselves, and
Oh,
you're willing
right.
to sit down if you need to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'll definitely die by Chi best battery in the game though. That's something I cannot budge on like one bit. Yeah, no. We rocking that Chi battery for life now. I'm actually considering like dropping a line of merch for Chi battery, like an entire like Chi battery.
EroticWalruss battery. Yeah, that'll be a good slogan for you.
Yo, like actually, like we got the whole tag on the t-shirt, the logo on the hat or something like that. Or like I think I'll get sued by Hoyoverse if I make a zombie hat with like Chi battery on it or something.
Right. As long as you don't put the wings in the resin where the anniversary mess happened, you're good. They don't want to see that mess ever again.
Yeah, like or like I just want to make like a Chi plushie battery or something like that, like a Chi as a battery, like a tube shaped plushie. So, but then like it's still using Chi-Chi's face or something like that. So maybe just Chi-Chi's color design. I don't know how I can do it without getting sued. Like I don't. So
Forrest, you're giving Mihoyo the Merc ideas.
I mean, they're not gonna take my Chi battery idea. That's for sure. Like that's like something exclusive to this community. You know what I could do is I'll make the merch and I'll ship it to Zajeff. I'll just ship it
There you
to
go.
him for free. Because listen, without Zajeff, like that would have never existed. I was so surprised when Lay 7, I don't know who else, like Lay 7, I believe it was Lay 7 who told me about that, like that meme being a thing. I checked it out, and ever since then I've seen like the whole inception of it, like Zajeff reacting to Chi battery. Like Zajeff reacting to Chi battery, and then there was like Ziox reacting to Zajeff reacting to Chi battery. Like the whole thing is just like it's much bigger than I ever thought it was ever going to be, and that's like in the moment I never thought it was going to be this big. But since it's gotten so big, I need to make some merch
Yeah,
about
might
it.
as well embrace it. Yeah, take it over.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah, I love it though. I love the Chi battery meme. It's fucking hilarious. Actually hilarious. So I might actually drop some merch on that. That's like Like you can't even
You know,
plan for this stuff.
my personal favorite. If you ever do a merch for something, you should have a shirt saying I paid over like or at least just around $800 for a Toma. That's still my favorite video of all time.
Yo, I
That
might
mess
like
was
not
so
like
funny.
not by Hoyoverse. I might straight up get sued by by Lay 7. Like, are you monetizing my suffering, bro?
Like, where's my paycheck? Give it back.
Yeah, like that was like I think that was probably like the most horrendous summoning session. Wait,
So
who's-
there's no pity for 4 stars, man.
who's-
Who was that even for? Was
Yeah,
that late
who's-
7 or him? I thought that was some. Okay,
no,
okay.
that was Lay 7, and I don't even remember what character was on that banner. I'm sure, like I think by the time we got C6 Toma, we got like C3
Yeah, C3 Huta or something like that, right?
of the 5-star. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Toma was on the Huta banner, right?
Because I believe he was made to be catered towards her for the power application.
That
or
is
whatever.
copium.
I know.
I don't know what
that's what Hoyoverse wanted.
I don't know what Hoyoverse was thinking. Like I think they wanted to replace Zhongli maybe in a Huta team.
Sick of him everywhere.
Yeah, so let's say if Toma did end up working, right now Hutao's best team would be Hutao, Xingqiu, Yalan, and then Toma. And Toma would have to offer more than what Zhongli currently is offering, which is a fat shield that is literally unbreakable. And shredding. Yeah, and like shredding for both Hydro and Pyro.
Toma got nothing on that.
For a 4-star to offer that, even at C6, it's quite unreasonable.
Yeah. You would think with his lore and stuff, or at least how characters are made in this game, you would think they would be fit with the characters they're made for. Like he works for Ayato, and Zhongli and Huta, that makes perfect sense. I get that they both work at the funeral party together. I just find it weird. Same with like Pookie and Ito.
When business is struggling, you have to go create dead bodies yourself, gear up, and like start murdering people.
And it's only just watching, like, I can't pay for that. Oh, well. Like, I'm broke. I can't say nothing.
You have to get employee of the month by, like, dropping a meteor on these. Like, hey, Hutao, look at these mangled remains of the people I found under a meteorite strike.
Like, whatever shall we do?
Yeah, Hutao wouldn't even ask questions. Hutao's like, damn, that's another 3% raise for you. I love the Wangshin funeral parlor dynamic. Like, isn't it such a great contrast to have somebody who works like as a funeral director who's so damn cheery and like outgoing?
It's such ominous. Like, it's no wonder why they made her the death persona for this game, because it's so creepy how she acts.
Yep,
great character, of course, but man. And I believe, what is it, the number 4 that symbolizes that for China?
Number 4. So, yeah.
That's crazy, because here in the West, that means more positive, like usually like an angel symbol or something.
Because
that's interesting.
It's the same for Japanese as well. I don't know if for Korean.
Or bad omen.
Yeah, because in Chinese, 死 is death. Like 死. Actually, here I'll write it on screen here so everybody can see it. Like some quick. Her
pose, Hutao pose is even positioned.
Yeah, she even does the number 4.
That's crazy. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's clever of them. I like that. I gotta give Hoyoverse props to character designs and how they all have meaning. Like, I don't think no one's touching them with that. I can see why they're popular. Like, it makes sense. Even someone that's maybe never played this game, they maybe see that character and be like, oh, that's such and such.
This is death.
I mean, that is pronounced as number 4 in Chinese as well.
Yeah, and this is death.
Okay.
One moment, and this is 4. So the first one, the one on the left is death, and the one on the right is number 4. And they have and the number 4
okay.
Yeah, the one on the right has the 4th intonation. So there's 4 ways to pronounce S and I in Chinese. There's
like a Z.
Yeah, so now there's like 4 different ways, and 死 is the 3rd intonation, meaning like it kind of drops downwards, like 死, like it feels like you're dropping it down, and 四 kind of like lifts upwards, like 四, like stuff like that. But they sound very similar. So in China, they don't have the 4th floor. It's kind of like in America, some
Yeah, we don't
places
have
don't have the
what,
13th floor.
Yeah, 13. Yeah, 13. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it.
In China, they don't have the 4th floor and they don't have the 14th floor in many buildings.
Right.
Yeah,
I
especially
think it makes sense. It's too taboo. So I find that fascinating how each culture has a different like taboo thing that they don't wish to talk about. Like, dude, that just makes me think. What are they going to do for their 4th anniversary? Not speak of it. Like,
True.
no,
Our
they'll definitely speak of it, but like, of course, they just won't like make a big deal out of it, right? The more they talk about it, the more like it just feels awkward. So they just won't mention it. It's like, oh, welcome to the 4th anniversary and stuff like that.
I mean, if we go with like how the floors are named, we can go with the 3A anniversary, right?
Wait,
Since like a lot of the apartment floors, instead of 4, they'll put 3A or something else.
I remember it was just like 1, 2, 3, 5. Like just go 1, 2, 3, 5.
Really?
Yeah.
I think in certain places over here, they just put as either 3A or 3B or something instead of 4 if they really don't
Well,
want
that's like that's interesting as well. Like, yeah, for China, they just ignore it. They just pretend like it's not there. Like they just go like 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Even though the floor is still the number, like the 4th floor. And yeah, I don't I don't know if there's a discount. Like honestly, when it comes to real estate, I wouldn't be surprised that some companies offers like a discount. Maybe, I don't know.
Actually,
Maybe not.
In Malaysia, right? You know the car number plates. The ones with 4 usually are cheaper.
Yeah, you see, like
nobody really wants to buy it.
makes sense. Yeah, but that's the kanji for death on the left.
In Japanese, we have 2 pronunciations for 4 as well. One is shi, one is yon.
Yeah.
So in certain contexts, we do not use the shi pronunciation because it's similar to death.
Yep. That is correct. They don't like the number 4 either.
Oh, well, I mean, that's a quite Asian thing.
Oh,
Is
we have
Marcus.
Marcus with technical difficulty. Oh, there we go. All right. So
I was hearing you guys, but I couldn't talk. That's why I had to restart it. But yeah, about the numbers thing, is there a different symbol for love? Because I love the Japanese symbol for love in like
okay.
in their culture.
Love looks like this. I think it's the same. It's the same.
It's the same with Chinese, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Japanese same symbol. I like that sign that
I believe Japanese uses the traditional one, right?
Okay.
Yeah. As kanji. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. I love that symbol. It just looks so cool to me. Like if I were to have a foreign symbol that at least that I know what it is, that would be the one because it just looks really cool.
Yeah, that says I love.
Right.
Fun fact: the bottom character is actually friend.
Yep. So friend. Yeah, like if you look, so look at this, right?
Yeah, take it apart and see what it is.
You see that? You see that? Do you see the bottom part of the upper character, the love? If you take away the top half, look at that. That's
the 3 dashes.
Yeah. The 3 dots and the little cap on top, and then down here, that this just means friend.
Oh, okay. For a second, I thought you were gonna show me like a stick figure, like a person hugging. And I'm like, oh, it's actual, it's like a person doing something. But okay.
No, like a lot of it, like you're right. Like a lot of this stuff used to like be derived from actual like pictures and stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought original like writing and stuff back then. Same with hieroglyphics, wingding, all that mess.
I mean, when I give the super chat, sometimes I'm tempted to. Oh my god, Walrus! No.
What happened?
I just made like a slight adjustment to our friendship here.
Okay, what's that middle symbol look? That one looking crazy.
That one is the same one as KFC.
Oh no.
Walrus. What are you doing?
Oh,
Chad, what does that mean? I need to know.
I'm sus AF. No. You know, we don't need to
They
talk
didn't get
about
us for
it's
seeing her too. Like it
just
looks like she would have all this on her side.
just know
You're, you're,
yeah,
you're
just
skipping a lot of steps in between, Walrus.
I know, but we I can't say anything more than this without getting demonetized. So that's
Right.
the big hit for
Me, Jack, so
for what
find
that.
out.
I just want to I'll try to explain it to you in a way where so this right here means friend. Wait. So this here is friend. This here, the first word here is good. So it's up to you to make out what the middle one is. And this one is Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC. I don't think there's any correlation. It's just, yeah.
But
I
if
mean-
you were to see these characters together, it basically means someone's doing some messed up stuff to your buddy.
Someone, maybe most likely you yourself.
Yourself.
Yeah, you and your buddy having a good loving
Good time with
loving
your girl or
time.
something, like.
Let's just say you are very good Tomodachis, huh?
Yeah.
Man, see, that's the downside. If you don't know what people talk about, they could literally be basically talk shit about you just right in front of your face, and you wouldn't know. Scary, man.
Yeah. I mean, the CN community has a bunch of this stuff. Like it's hilarious.
That's like their joke, their word. Okay.
Yeah. When I go read CN forums about Genshin and stuff like that, when they talk like some random stuff and they use these kind of like not English, like online lingos and like modern abbreviated lingos, sometimes it can get pretty wacky. Very funny to read.
Oh yeah, I like wordplay and innuendos and whatnot. We have them here in the West, so I'm not surprised they would have them in other older cultures too. So it's interesting for sure. I don't know how I take it. Like if let's say if you met someone across the street and they said some stuff like that too, you may want to get up and fight. Like, come on, let's go, start the new Archon War. Like,
So Henry's asking, what's the latest CN Genshin? You mean like news, controversy, meme? I'm not very up to date with their memes. I haven't really scoured the CN forums for some time now. But usually when I go check them out, usually they're talking about like the characters or they're complaining about something. Like it's always either people trying to figure out meta teams and or they're trying to break down why this doesn't work or that doesn't work. They're very they're very picky people over there. Like they will scrutinize everything.
Like if it's not perfect, get it out of here.
Yeah, like I think they have it in their blood to pick apart things and just
So basically, they're all ka-ching over there.
yeah,
Like if you don't have this festival right,
yeah, if you really want to, like, if people think the Western community are like too whiny, like CN is way worse in my opinion. CN is worse because they'll like remember when Eula first came out and like CN complained about her animation not feeling fluid. Like people in the West didn't give a damn. We were too busy like jacking off.
looking at her cheeks and stuff. Yep, I know.
Like, but
West,
CN,
like, as long as he attractive, we good.
yeah,
East, nah.
CN was just like looking at like scrutinizing every single animation frame. Like, why? Like, what is this? Like,
Oh yeah, speaking of since Hachina Hub, remember they were talking about Hachinha's dress? They thought the top part was someone else and the bottom half was created by all different developers.
yeah, like starting from like right here, like under the booba line.
Yeah,
like people were just like, nah, that this is like. Whereas in the West, people were like just like jumping at
panting like dogs.
Shinha's design. CN was like scrutinizing the validity of her outfit choice. This is weird stuff like this. They always see it in a different perspective. So like,
right, it's crazy. Yeah, I find it interesting though. Like it's nice to know people all have different ways of looking at things. It's just when it gets to the point where you're harassing like the developers or something, I feel like that's a bit much now. But if you have a personal take and you don't like it, yeah, you're free to speak your mind. Just don't attack people over it.
Mm-hmm.
In Genshin, yeah, that's a very risky move, huh?
Yeah, in CN, I actually find very little people like attacking people who attack Hoyoverse. Like whereas in the West, like if you say anything bad against Hoyoverse or even like criticize them in any way, it's a very like it's considered a very polarized thing to do. Like it's just people will jump on you, like they'll dogpile you. But in CN, people usually will leave you alone because
it's like whatever.
Yeah,
they don't care.
Like
as long as you're talking about their waifus and their favorites.
Yeah, like CN definitely has preferences for characters. Like, I mean, we're all humans. We're gonna have preferences, but they don't.
Of course, yeah.
They don't treat, like, for the most part, they don't treat it like it's their life. Yeah. Definitely, I've seen weirdos. Oh my god, what have I done? Like, I've seen people who cross the line, like to go too far. But then, for the most part, I don't see those kind of people that much. They're very much meta-centric, and people who are actively online discussing, it's usually more serious thing like gameplay features, stuff like that. That's what CN is more like. More about.
I remember in the first anniversary, what do you call? They just the whole a lot of the arguments were just like, just be grateful that you got anything. Was like the argument for any other criticism you throw at the game at that time. I think even now they'll be like, just be grateful that they gave you even more than last year, I guess.
Actually,
it's hard for you to actually give good criticism at times where without being like piled on.
Like, there was actually somebody who, like, there were a couple people. Remember, were you guys there when I did it? When the
which one? Yeah, what video?
During the live stream for the 3.0, I was putting clown noses on the VA, right? Like, there was a lot of people.
I think that wasn't a 3.1. I thought.
Yeah, 3.1, 3.1. Yeah, like the one I did last week. People were like not that happy, like not a lot, but like a few.
To it, like that's not very funny, man.
Yeah.
Look, I knew you were joking. Like,
because
like that,
this is what I'm in the full acceptance mode that if you're playing Genshin wholeheartedly and you devote your body and soul to this game,
you're not going to be happy.
Like, you're a clown. Like, you have to at some point fool yourself into thinking like, I'm not fully happy with what I'm doing right now, but I'm gonna accept it because it's the best that I've got right now. Like, if there's a game better than Genshin, there's gonna be a lot of people moving into that game, but because there isn't, I'm just here coping, right? I'm just here coping, and just that in of itself, like, I just feel like a clown, right? And then there's the VAs. Like, let's be honest here. Did the VAs say like, oh, we're gonna...
Lonto really pulled it when he said, oh, this is the best Genshin community ever. I'm like, bro, you can't say that.
Yeah, like,
at least the West. You can't say that in the West. Maybe in the worldwide. Okay, we're cool. But
have you not seen Azurlane's community? that is why I call chill.
Like, honestly, the VAs are just as big of a clowns as we are. The main reason is because they're doing it for the money, right? Like,
most likely.
And they're contracted by Hoyoverse to appear, to make these guest appearances. So them standing there,
actors.
Yeah, literally, like, they're literally paid actors. Exactly.
So you can't really take their word for it unless they're off the market and they're speaking through their own experience.
Yeah.
Like, I watched Zach Aguilar. He actually speaks his mind about certain stuff.
Yeah,
obviously,
like,
he can't say everything, but he speaks, the truth.
Remember when he came out and said that sometimes it's very difficult to navigate this community because of some of the, like, a small portion. Like, he was talking to another voice actor, him and whose voice was it? Was it Ayato? I don't remember. He was talking to another VA, like,
I'm not sure, on
his channel, and he was saying like, it's just this community sometimes it's very difficult to navigate and do everything right. And I think they were talking about Tignari, right? And they were like,
okay, that one.
Because the pronunciation thing. And Zach was saying like, them as VAs, they are only told by the producers or like the company like how to pronounce it. They themselves don't have much like freedom to interpret.
It doesn't matter,
right? Yeah. It was Tignari's voice actor, right? And
he said it right. Okay.
Yeah, and then Tignari's voice actor is like why he pronounced it like Tinari, right? And that's why I started saying Tinari, because the voice actor said it as Tinari, which is what they were. You know why? It's because in CN, I said it before. CN Tignari's name is pronounced as Tinali, which is
right. You think anyone on the West is going to say that? Like, no.
Yeah. So
I get it. But yeah.
And by no means were the CN people who were directing the English VA likely how to pronounce it. Like, the CN people are not experts either. Like, how does this not feel like a clown circus?
Right.
Like, it's just like dun 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 dun.
I don't think they pronounce Candace's name right, because I think in the Chinese they said Candice or like, I can tell when they were speaking, they even said it technically, if you want to be accurate, right? The Chinese didn't even say it right because actually, I think she pronounced it Kendake. Like everyone has a
it's all
different way
dude,
of pronouncing it.
it's all messed up because it's not a Chinese name, right? Like it's just
Yeah.
like the people in CN ain't getting it right, which now trickles down to people in EN doesn't get it. Like this whole freaking thing is a circus. Like it's actually like funny.
A full clown.
It's a
That
full
makes
clown
sense
circus, and
hyper Fontaine.
yeah.
That's what they gonna be.
and
Full clowns over there.
and we just need to embrace that, right? But then like you see this community, that's why I say in CN you'll very rarely have people like come out, and because they're realistic, they're much more realistic people. Like
thinking and reasonable.
just look at like CN parents. They don't care about like your feelings. Like I know it's kind of a meme, but like in most part it's true. They care about results. Like in CN, they don't care about like, for the most part, they don't care about all this like extra stuff. Does this character feel good? Does this character work? Is Hoyoverse like doing this, doing that, doing what? Like what are we getting as the players? Like we don't care about the concerts, and like yeah, they do for the most part. It has to contribute more towards something more practical, right? So you'll very rarely see people react like that in CN, but in EN, oh boy.
And if you so much as say Zhongli's name wrong, I would no. They're just gonna beat you. They're literally gonna throw meteors at your house.
Yeah.
I mean, even for like the same people who criticize the pronunciation for these Sumeru characters, they themselves have not been saying the Liyue characters correctly. I'm pretty sure. Like Xingqiu, the pronunciation they did not put like the pinyin or that intonation properly. To be fair.
Yeah, and
but
like,
then they never
like look. People in CN never once said like, "Oh, why are people in global like pronouncing our stuff wrong?" Like they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care. Yeah, they don't. So why is English or like Western Canada, all these people getting mad when they don't even like it just makes no sense.
The funniest part is like people who are getting upset aren't even like of the ethnicity.
Yeah, the ethnicity. Yeah, it's like some random culture of people, and the people that are Arab like. No, I got to defend you.
It's hilarious. It's like that's why I'm clowning on that. Like I'm literally clowning on that, and then people were like, no, like don't do that. It's like
it's offensive to their culture. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's I've even seen I've seen a lot of those videos online as well, where like a white dude was dressing up as like in traditional Chinese like farmer clothing. We're talking like the straw hats, like the farmer, like the outfit, and he was walking around like a university campus, right? Like this is why woke culture is so dangerous, because it actually inhibits you from experimenting like other cultures. Like at least it limits the way you interact with them. And then this guy was like dressed up as a Chinese rice farmer or something, and he was walking around on campus, and people were just like telling him, hey, you should probably stop that, that's like really offensive. And
so what culture?
Like Chinese rice farmer.
Chinese rice, farmer culture.
Oh no, I mean you mentioned a word just now. What culture was it you said that was dangerous?
What culture?
I didn't catch that. Is it woke
like
culture?
representing?
Oh, like I was just saying like the people on campus were saying like you shouldn't be dressed like that because you are like it's very offensive to the people from that culture, right? So and then like he just made his rounds on campus, and eventually he went to Chinatown, and he found like old Chinese people, and old Chinese people were looking at him like giving him a thumbs up and being like, hey, that's good. And he started interviewing these Chinese people, and they're like, what do you think of my outfit? And then they think like, I think it looks good on you, like it looks good, right? And he's like, do you find this offensive? And they're like, no, like you look good, like I like it. It's like
that's the West Side.
Yeah, but then and then he did it again with I think a Mexican outfit. Like he was wearing like a what do you call that? Like a sombrero, and like like what they dress up as, like
Mexicans, that stuff,
festivals. And then he did it again, and he again on like the campus with the young woke like early people in their late teens, early 20s. They're like, no, don't do that. That's so like racist. That's so inappropriate. Like that's disgusting.
People are cool
while people who are like. And then he went to like the Mexican part of town, like not like Mexican, like Mexican or Spanish part of town, and like he started interviewing again the older generation. They're all okay with it. That's what's so dangerous about this.
It's the Gen Z or whatever the next generation after people that grew up with technology is their issue.
Yeah, it's the kids who are policing. like the
Yeah.
online space by you know, like sure, when we're online we are all equals, right? Like we don't know if you're 12, 8, 50, like if you have a background in, you know, like like cultures and cultural studies or whatever,
Got a degree in
yeah,
science.
like
or some
actually
shit.
understands this and like are like working every day to fight injustice and prejudice, stuff like that, right? Or you're just like some 12-year-old who you know watched a documentary about, you know, like I don't want to say the word, I don't want to say the S word, but like, and then you suddenly feel woke and you feel like you need to do something. I mean, the intentions are good. Like this is where like I don't want to overly harass these people. It's because I know their intentions are good, but they lack they lack a meaningful way to contribute. And maybe they're sitting there be like, how can I contribute? How can I help? You know, to the betterment of this cause. But then their solution to that is like, oh, I'll just call people out when they're stepping out of line, right? Like their intentions are good. I don't want to mislead these people saying like never speak up, never, you know, never stand up for other people when in need. But it's just that they're overcompensating for something that for the most part is
There must be a
harmless.
place where you draw the line.
Yeah, they don't know how to draw the line. Exactly.
It's like, I mean, you can literally get cancelled over anything, like anything under the rays of the sun in the modern like society.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you're doing. Someone will probably find something wrong about what you're doing or saying.
Like in a way, I want to also say, like for anybody who's wanting to pursue a career online or in the media, if you don't have haters, you're not doing it right, because that means you're not really saying anything. But once you start, yeah, or you're not getting enough exposure. It's one of the two. Like if you're not getting enough exposure, you're not making it either. But once you start realizing you have haters, you have people who are like directly opposed to what you stand for. As long as like we have to be reasonable. If you're in like if you are like pro some really messed up stuff that I can't say on stream, if you're really pro for something really messed up, you know, like
I agree.
I'm sure you'll still find a huge following. It's just that because there's people who support everything, but like for the most part, we have to kind of we kind of have to gauge for ourselves. Like, trust me, whenever I'm about to give a hot take, for example, right? Great example. Raiden C0 is overrated. I don't like her, and that is a hot take. That's
cap.
Yeah,
that's cap.
But
I'll still fight you for that. No.
Yeah, like literally, people like people will literally jump into a boxing ring with me over that, right? People we'll throw hands for that. Yeah, like
they'll literally make a whole video trying to prove you wrong. 36 on the best C0. She's fine. What are you talking about, Wallace? And you're like, dude, that's not the point. But okay.
So it's just like we're free to give bad takes, right? Like I think that's something that comes with human rights. Like, come on, let's be honest here. But it doesn't mean
unless you're perfect, then you can't. But it's like, no one's perfect. So, yeah.
But it comes with it's just preference. It's just preference at the end of the day, and but you know what I've realized also is that when you give a bad take, like look at MTash, there are still people to this day that hates MTash because he said Klee was bad.
Yeah, it was trash. Yeah.
Yeah, until
he
this
said he was
day.
Good at first, right? Yeah. They unfollow to give him hate.
Yeah, and like that emotion sticks with them, and they
the rest of their life.
Yeah, for the rest of their life, they'll never like say anything good about MTash, right? And they'll justify it with anything, but they won't admit it.
The same thing with the leader.
Yeah,
like, oh, he's good, but she only works with EM. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, people just want to be like. I've said this with Soul. You guys know Soul, right? Soul of an Artist. It's like I've talked about this with Soul. He's another content creator. He makes very like outspoken content, and he's a very outspoken person himself, which gets him a lot of hate. But like we both agreed that for the most part, people come online to validate like predetermined like opinions that they themselves already have. So if somebody really loves Klee, they go online searching for is Klee worth? They're not looking for like actual advice on like like
They just want to see
numerical.
all the good. Yeah.
They just want to hear people say
mean,
like, yeah, Klee is good. You should definitely build her. Here's,
validation.
yeah, and then they're
that
like,
is
that's
just
right.
confirmation, just for the confirmation on their own beliefs. That is kind of human nature, I guess.
Like
Might
honestly,
be.
if I've wanted more views and I wanted more clout on the internet, I would just play towards that. Like I know all the games and the rules, but like this is why content creators gets burned out, and I'm still here dropping a video a day, and I'm just chill. I can sit here like like I can talk with you guys for like the next 10 hours, and I wouldn't feel tired because I'm honestly just giving you guys what I think.
What you are.
Yeah, because if I start faking it, like imagine I make a video right now and then be like, oh my god, guys, like holy smokes, Tignari, best character ever. I can't believe we didn't see this. Like, you guys would get tired just listening for a couple minutes. Like, you guys listen to that for a couple, like, this guy's cap.
You'd be like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like,
This
is capping real hard. Smoking that Naku weed from, Zuma. I'm out.
And I have him at like C6 R5, and I'm just like, bro, look at the damage I'm doing. Like, it's so good. Like, you guys should definitely try this out. And I'm just coping hard. I probably can clickbait the shit out of the video though. Like,
you know what's sad? You can hype a character, but if people can't afford it to get it to that mid maximum level, people are just gonna look at you like, oh, that's cool, man. But I only got C0. Don't even have his weapon. Like, it's crazy. You can't.
And
really
if you notice, for the most part, those people never really engage with their comment section because their experience with the game is so detached from the people who watches it. They're creating a spectacle. They can't really connect with their audience because the audience will ask questions like, well, I have a C0R1 Tignari, like, and I'm struggling to find a good like functioning team like for him. Like, what would you suggest? Like, they're like, do you have a C6 Yalan? do you have
right? C6 Yalan, you capping. You can't do any attack builds with that shit.
Yeah, stuff like that. I just find it much more enjoyable if I keep it real with myself.
Being real, be reasonable.
Like if I am giving a bad take, then at least it's my bad take to give, and not like I've watched someone else's video and now I'm like,
you're trying to exploit it.
Yeah. So like, if I think C0 Raiden is bad, I will give my input and why I think she's bad and why, like, I went through the testings that I have done, and comparatively, I just find that like she's not as worth it for me because when I was testing C6 Raiden, I was comparing her with my Hu Tao at the time. I meant C6 Raiden, goddammit. C0 Raiden. I was comparing her to my C1 Hu Tao, but C1 Hu Tao doesn't add additional damage. Still, it's an unfair comparison because C1 Hu Tao has that utility.
You don't use charge,
right? Has that utility. So, but the problem when I was playing like this, I can go over this over and over again, and I still will stand by this, is that C0 Raiden, I refuse to level up my supports beyond a certain level at the time when I was testing her. I remember Xiaoling 70, Xingqiu 70, Bennett was 80. And Raiden, I believe, was 80 with R1. They were the same. With Hu Tao was level 80 with R1. And I just felt like the team, it was good, don't get me wrong. Like Raiden National is a good team, and I said that as well. But I just felt like my Hu Tao team was much more like straightforward, linear, easy to use, less focused on rotations, less like less scrutiny, and less room for error, in my opinion. And because Raiden team, you need to make sure Raiden has enough ER. Like, for the most part, you need to balance and make sure Xiangling can get her burst off with good enough ER, right? And Xingqiu has enough stats and also particle generation to make sure his burst is, off quick. Bennett is actually the easiest one to build in that entire team. Just stack some HP, healing bonus, you're good to go. Like, doesn't matter.
Boom, you got it.
Yeah.
Fill up his talent level 9 to his burst, you're good. Yep.
Yeah. But then, like, the other three characters, you really have to balance around, like, their energy recharge. With that team, like, Raiden National, if your bursts don't... Shuka, I remember we did that on your account, right? Like, we did the Abyss 12 run, and I told you, some teams just don't work if their energy regen can't keep up. Like, if they can't cycle through their burst, the team kind of starts falling apart, like, just at the seams. They just completely falls into pieces. Because Raiden needs her burst, Xingqiu needs his burst, Bennett is just there to boost other people's bursts. Xiaoling needs her burst. Raiden National is a team, like, I've had people who come to me as well saying like I'm trying to build Raiden National, but I just don't feel like it doesn't feel good. Like, what am I doing wrong? I look at it, it's like, okay, you need more energy regen, right? You need, because he's like, after my Raiden uses a burst, I need to wait, like, I need to use my Xiangling's Guoba 3 times before she gets her burst. I'm like, what the right?
I saw some really cool art of Right National. I posted it in the general chat. It looks sick. Like it makes me think though, with how powerful these characters are. I really hope Hoyoverse gives them like an interesting lore. Like if they're not going to give us more content, right? We're all kind of disappointed with how they run things. I really hope they at least make an interesting story for the characters we do have, because that gives us more insights to continue playing the game. You know what I mean? It's
Yes.
sure the anime is nice and stuff, but let's be real. People that play the game want more content for the game. And I guess for some reason, Hoyoverse will never see that, like you said. So they just use it as a medium to publicize and make more different avenues for stuff.
Yeah, like and honestly, with their announcement of the TCG, I like this is something I guess it comes with age. I don't see how other people don't see it, if that makes sense. Like Hoyoverse is practically, even though they're not coming out and actively saying it, they're practically screaming in our faces. It's like, get it through your thick skulls. We're not gonna develop more like end game combat related stuff. Like, you know, like because Genshin, I think statistically, I can, even though I've never seen the stats, I can almost say for certain the majority, the vast majority, I'd say 80, maybe even more than 80% of the people who actively plays Genshin are casuals. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
like I'm
We don't
talking
see
about
many
the
with
10
P6
million.
characters. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
the 10 million plus active players like across the whole world. Over 80% of them, over 8 million, are just casual
more than
players.
likely. Yeah.
Like I would
Maybe
even
maybe Dolphins at most, right?
yeah, I would even push 90% are casuals. And like the last like 2 million ish, like 10 to maybe million ish player, like last 1 million players are like more focused on meta and like making sure min maxing, and literally like 0.5%, maybe even less than that, has like C6
Right.
R5 characters and are like really pushing for
It's mostly usually content creators that do that, not
yeah,
no
like
average person
if
being
you
on the
go
street.
yeah, looking at like certain people who do like speed runs, it's always the same few people. Like it's always the same like
Yeah.
like 20
Every
30
time,
people.
a character comes out or like a new weapon, like Albedo, I saw this one Asian, like it was, I don't know, I think it was like changed or something, but every time like a new weapon or character, they always try to fight this child. I don't know what account it is, but they're really cool. I follow them. But I don't know what it says because I don't understand the language.
Is it
But
CN?
every account, yes, I think it's a CN account. But every time a new content come out, they always fight child, and they just show what mid max you can do. Like it's cool, you know, it's nice to look at, but not many people are really going to try to aim for that. You know?
Yeah, it's like, and let's talk about Hoyoverse then. If Hoyoverse knows 80 to 90% of the player base is more casuals, they don't care. Like they're not even getting the C6 R5 characters anyways, right?
Yeah.
Like then why create more combat content? Like, and then maybe they'll have stats for Spiral Abyss. If they see only 30% of the player base is even playing the Spiral Abyss actively, like trying to beat it every time, maybe less than that, why make more combat based content, right?
Yeah, I agree. That's how they see it. They're looking at it. I'm not going to waste putting effort in combat if only less than half of our player base is doing it.
And then let's look at fishing. People say fishing is terrible, but then yet again, if we look at it, 80% of the people did fish, even though they fished for the catch. They still fished, did they not?
Yeah,
right?
It's probably easier and more understanding to do than try to mid-max your perfect abyss run. Like, let's be real. Most people, most gamers, even though we're called gamers, not everyone really thinks that critically. I know me, you, Walrus.
Yeah.
And sorry, I forgot your other name guy. But
Shukai, yeah,
Shukai. We may be that, but we're kind of above slightly. I'm more than the average player. Like most people don't even think about that stuff.
I don't think we even fall into the category of that, like top 5%. like I think we're in the 10%, but even in the 10%, like I said, I categorize as a casual meta player. Like sure, I'll run meta teams here and there, and I will go and try to clear the abyss. Like I'll be honest with you guys, I don't try to 36 every abyss. I'll do it once in a while just to make sure, can I still do it? Do I need to start farming artifacts again? Okay, I can still do it. Never mind.
I probably could do it, but I don't want to stress myself out over that if I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah, you know? So you don't even fall in the 5%.
Yeah.
I mean, if I don't 36 star, I just leave it. I get whatever I get.
Yeah, like there's a very small portion of the community, and you know why Hoyoverse doesn't release the leaderboard for it? It's also because they don't want to create competition. Competition
Oh, yeah.
breeds like jealousy, which breeds like, and it makes the game much more tiring than it
Yep.
needs to be. Genshin, like Hoyoverse wants Genshin to be a game where you get off work, you come home, you wind down and relax,
Have
you
fun. Yeah.
chill, right? Yeah,
I was just doing that too before the stream came on. Just
yeah. Like
playing the
why?
games, just chilling.
Like why do people stress over at work and come home then stress over a leaderboard
Right
or
in a
something
video
like that
game,
for yeah.
PvP. And this game is PvP from the beginning, like shooter games and stuff like that. Then okay, I get it. You want to have that competition with it. This game was never meant to be like that. Sure, we have co-op, but it's never against each other. It's just
Yes.
playing together as an open world instead of by yourself. But that's it.
And the cool
Yeah, I've never had a problem with the combat, but I can understand why people want more combat. They want to test their limits. Everyone wants to be Goku, become the strongest character. I'm like, dude, this game isn't it.
Little did they know they want to be Goku, but they were born a freaking Yamcha, man. Like this is
Yamcha, and they always get their ass beat by lack of content. Or was literally slapping them.
it's like it's interesting that Hoyoverse even decided to release a PvP ladder for the TCG.
The trading card game.
Yeah, but they don't have any
cool.
rewards.
I love Yu-Gi-Oh, so
they don't have any rewards for the PvP
oh
ladder.
yeah.
This is also
no reason though.
This is also Hoyoverse testing though. Like Hoyoverse is now trying to test. Like, okay, you guys keep saying you guys want like like some sort of competition. Here, will you do it for no rewards though? See, that's a big question mark, right? Can Hoyoverse quench the thirst of these people who are highly competitive without giving them any rewards? Is it enough to just give them competition and a shiny badge with nothing else to show for it? Like having them be able to flex simply with a ranking versus actual tangible rewards. Can this shut them up essentially? And if this can, maybe going in the future with new content that can be competitive, they'll always create a ladder so these people can always grind and like flex with, and then they can keep themselves busy with that.
I never understood that kind of people. Like, it's one thing if you're showing off to like your friends that you actually hang out with, but just to show off like to the world, I don't know. I find that either kind of cringe or just you're just way too entitled in yourself.
But like,
I guess one thing if you worked hard at it, like let's say for example, you grinded an artifact domain, mind you, it's against you because you don't get good stuff, and you happen to get perfect good stats. Hey, congrats! You worked hard to get that. It took you like 6. I mean, some people get lucky, but the average is like what 4 to 6 months to do it.
And
then you get the perfect artifacts. Yeah,
it's funny because Sanzu was saying like he's willing to pay like $3,000 for like a god tier artifact. And it's hilarious because if that feature was like an actual thing and Hoyoverse takes like a cut in between, Genshin would just turn into a farm bot.
Basically,
like
all the whales will have the best chances while the free to plays are just sitting here like,
yep. And
what do I do? Like,
it's funny because
definitely separate the fan base for sure. That already is.
But like they take so much pride in having that artifact, but they would sell it without like even like. Without skipping a beat, they will sell that for $3,000 to a whale.
Yep.
Speaking about the TCG,
they're literally gonna take your money and put it in the next anime episode. Watch Raiden go to the beach with Sarah. Yeah, like that's literally gonna do it. They're gonna make it into a filler episode. Are y'all happy with this?
Yeah. So
like this is where all y'all money went. I ain't complaining because it's made by Ufotable, the people that made Demon Slayer. Good company, I agree. So they at least they're smart with their money. They didn't give it to like some random ass like imagine.
But like
this might be a hot take though, but I do think from the trailer of the anime, I think the background stands out too much from the character, the main characters. Like the art style don't really mesh well.
It could be what's it called, pre-render, like beta, like beta stuff. It could be that like they're just giving you a tease of what's going to be before the actual episode. Yeah,
I think
the landscape.
Shukai, go ahead.
The landscape looks really high definition and like
hyper realistic,
real life, right? But when we see the main characters, they are more animated. So it does stand out a bit too much, in my opinion. Like
I think
No, that's fair. You're pretty to say that.
do you guys remember that animation they did for the 3.0? Like they had like all
Yeah.
the they had
They had two, right? One
yeah.
for Sumer and one for Inazuma. I feel like that was the teaser leading up to the anime. That was the whole point of that.
I think
I didn't get it at first, but now I do.
that art style, but more polished, like more polished with like proper light lighting,
better frames.
yeah, better frames,
Yeah.
less choppy, and that would be acceptable with UFO tables like level of animation and
like their anime demon fights.
yeah.
My favorite one, I think, was one of those early episodes when Tanjiro fought that drummer. I think that was the best animation I've seen in the music too. It clicked really well.
Yeah, it's
I never seen fights where it looks like it's 3D, but it's not like that. I mean, I'm sure other anime do it too, but that was the first time.
It's crazy to think Hoyoverse easily has the budget to make Genshin animate the quality of the Demon Train movie that Demon Slayer had. Like, can you guys imagine an entire anime series with that level of animation? Like,
it's gonna sell like hotcakes for sure. Even if people never play Genshin, they'll be like, "What? What is this game?"
Wasn't Hoyoverse like investing in nuclear fusion or something?
Yeah, they're investing in like nuclear energy. They're also investing in rockets.
Yeah, I mean, they have the money to do
blow
that.
something up. They're gonna become Klee in real life.
No. I feel like they're trying to set the foundations for like a sustainable like self-owned or at least they have a say in satellite. What is that like? They need to have their own satellites up. Is it like to run their own servers or to have like more flexibility or whatever? I think they want to create their own like universe, right? So they basically are trying to set up everything to kind of launch that into the next phase. Without proper preparations, they can't ever really fully realize Full Dive, because that's the end goal of Dawe. He wants to create Full Dive before he like passes. Like in his life.
Maybe they are just setting up these nuclear and satellites so that they can nuke whoever criticizes their Genshin 5.0 like anniversary or something.
Like let's be honest here, okay?
I'm actually waiting for Natlin, man. I'm sad.
I want to ask you. I want to ask you guys a question, and I'm gonna bring chat into this as well, because this is a serious question. I'm pretty sure all of you guys, including the ones in chat, will live to see this become a reality. But my question to you guys is, if Full Dive technology came out and it's been like properly scientifically it's tested, it got all like the stamps of approval, let's say right now only some major countries have legalized it and other countries are still on the fence, and you guys happen to be in those countries, legalized it, units are for sale, let's say you can afford it, will you be the first wave to try it, or are you going to be waiting for to make sure that it's safe? I'm going to make this poll. Right. Wait, before you answer, let me make the poll.
I won't say nothing. I won't get my answer. I know I don't like spoiling. We're going to see what chat says, and I'm going to give my opinion, and then Shukai, you give yours.
All right, so the question is, will you try out Full Dive the moment it's out? So I'm just going to write that poll. Let's see because right, this is something so new, and right now you guys might be saying like, yeah, I'll do it. But what if at the time, like there are scientists that releases papers like saying like, Full Dive renders
you're gonna lose your mind.
Yeah, like renders testing patient paralyzed or something like that, or full dive person like test subject ends up in a coma or something like that. And that might not be real. Just like look at nowadays, right? When electric cars first came out, like look how many articles are saying, electric cars like blowing up like in your face, like so bad. Like, but then when you actually try it out, it's like it's actually not as bad. Yeah, stuff like that. It's just like you're gonna have so many things like talking negatively about this technology that are you realistically gonna be the first wave of people who tries it? Like, remember, technology like that grows so fast, right? Look at the first iPhone. That was like a little over 10 years ago versus now. Look how fast technology grows. Like, are you really comfortable being the first wave of people to try out Full Dive technology when it first comes out? See, like And you guys are very young as well, I would like to imagine. Like these are like the youngsters who are still capable of even like conceptualizing this kind of technology. And it's like, if like ask our parents, like, what the fuck is that? Like, no. Like you're trying to brainwash me. I ain't putting nothing over my head without like, unless it's a tin foil.
Right? It's in foil or VR chat.
Yeah.
VR chat. Man, there's so many dang skins or edits people making that game.
Naughty says could be hacked a lot. Can you imagine? You're like in
it'll be cyberpunk. You know how you can hack people? That's what it'll be. Like they'll literally download your social, all that.
I just imagine you're like you're in there playing your game or like doing your thing, like whatever it is, and then suddenly you get a raid ad, unskippable raid ad.
Raid.
Like,
no. Imagine VR, yeah, real life ads.
Yeah, like a VR raid ad, like meaning like you get put into the raid, like you look at your hands, you're wearing armor, and you have to like hit this dragon, and you're like, wait, what the fuck? Like I was just about to get intimate with Eula. You're like trying to fight a dragon.
You have to fight what's that dragon in Genshin? Uran, that dark Albedo's brother dragon. Like it'd be good lore, dude. I want to be where Vanessa's at. Like, man, she turned into a hawk and flew.
Monstar says, Pogo, another month. I love you, boys. Love you too, Monstar. Pop by more often. We can hit up some league games as well. Dude, like VR, like we're talking about full dive. Like it's not gonna even be called a VR. It's gonna be called like FD. Or like whatever they want to like.
Yeah, league stuff. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what they're gonna call it, but I bet you when the first SL game comes about, everyone's gonna make a reference to it, and they better get it right. Because if not, they're just gonna be a laughing stock. Because SL was like the example of what not to do.
So look, like
whoever's in charge of the manager, they better keep an eye on him. Make sure he ain't pulling no BS.
So look at the chat, right? They voted for 33% yes, 67% no. All right, so Shukai, what would you do? Would you do it? Would you try it out?
There's some smart people in the chat. That's what I'm saying.
For the first round of beta test, definitely not.
No, not first round of beta. Like it's officially released. Like it's an actual on the shelf product. So
basically, after the beta's been out, all the testing.
Like it's safe. Legally speaking, it's safe. Like
it claims it's safe. I still wouldn't. You go first, Shukai, but I'll tell my answer.
Yeah, I mean, like if that's the case, then I don't see why not. I mean, provided there's actually something I would wanna try on it. So I don't think.
Okay. Let's say with its initial release, Genshin also releases their like Genshin full dive.
Yep, and you can play with any character or interact with.
Of course, you still have the gacha for them. Okay, you have to re-gacha everything. Like everything starts from scratch. New account. Would you play it for Genshin? But all the characters are available. So let's say like it happens 30 years from now. If Genshin is still around 30 years from now, so the 30 year later Genshin, all their character gets ported straight into this
20 anime.
Game. Yeah. Like yeah, and you get to experience it like firsthand. And you can like, and you are like, remember, Shukai, we're talking about full dive. It's not VR. Okay, full dive means you're technically asleep and you're in
the world, like you're dreaming basically. But you're actually there.
Yeah. So technically, I don't even know how they're gonna do it. Like, can you use that to sleep? Like, can you just go to bed with that on, and from then on, like you can spend
I think you'll be mentally exhausted because remember what happened at SAO. Even though your body's resting, you can still feel like it's weird. It's crazy how your mind works. Whatever happens there, it can still affect you in real life because you think you're actually getting.
Yeah, what's even scarier is your perception of time can be drastically altered as well. Let's say if you are sleeping for 8 hours and then you change your setting, and of course they have to like legally limit it to like a safe setting. You cannot go over a certain. Let's say scientifically, scientifically they can like make your 8 hours of sleep feel like 20 years. Let's say like that's possible, but like of course no way they're gonna let people do that. So let's say you can only make your 8 hours of sleep feel like a week, like maximum. Right? So that is the kind of technology we're dealing with. Look how scary that is. Like you can literally spend a week inside of Genshin Impact like fully experiencing, like you can feel the wind on your face, you can like taste the food, you can like although it's not making you actually full, but like in your brain you can be tricked in that moment it's full. Look how scary that is, Shukai. Would you try that with Genshin? You can literally sit with Kokomi and talk about Nilu.
I mean,
You can talk to Kokomi, talk to Nilu, and talk about getting married, and then here comes Sana ready to ruin the party. No.
Yeah,
you think
yeah.
I mean, like, you think that the real what they call danger would be people hacking into you and stuff or whatnot. I think
Yeah,
the real
like
danger would be like you wouldn't want to come back in reality at that point, wouldn't you?
I mean,
Well,
if you
most
want to
most
keep paying the bills, you think like it's
When
free.
you're to play the game, you better get into reality. And all it says, wake up to reality.
Provided I have the means, I probably would try it, but I'll still be on the fence.
So Step Car 2004 says, no, bro, that is not possible unless they put a chip inside your brain. Not impossible. Okay, so let's say if you want to do full dive, you have to first get a chip implanted. And it's like a very, very easy procedure to them. Like, let's say, like,
I got something to say about that, but I'll wait.
If you buy the gear, like the headset, you can go to one of their facilities and they'll just implant a chip in like 10 minutes. Like that fast. Like just assume this technology has been fully realized and it's not. They make it as convenient, that's as convenient for you, the consumer, as possible. Right? Like you see, even people who are in chat right now, they're very young, right? They are not okay with that. That is some scary stuff to them. So technically, imagine your kids, right? Everybody. I know you guys are still young, but imagine your kid or your grandkid comes up to you and be like, and they got the implant, and they're like, oh, like grandpa or grandma, try this game, but you don't have the implant. Oh, let's go get you the implant. It's very cheap, right? Like
$2.
Yeah, it's like literally, I'll pay for it, grandma. Like, let's go right now. Like, we can get you the implant in like 5 minutes. Like, you would be scared shitless. It's just like right now, our parents looking at us playing Genshin.
It's just like how old people are scared of technology. They don't understand it. It's not that they didn't grow up with it, so they don't know how it works. I understand. I try to help them out and tell them what's safe, but you know,
later
new stuff that's scary.
In the future, it's going to be us telling our grandkids, like, oh, don't spend so much time in that, like, full dive stuff. Like, that really can, like, ruin your mentality or, like, ruin, like, your brains and stuff.
Yeah, watch them be born in it, molded by it.
Yeah, like, and they live in that stuff, right? Like, literally, like, after homework, they just go to full dive for, like, 2 hours, but inside they're spending, like, 3 days learning jujitsu. And we're, like, out here be like, yo, like, yo, what the hell is going on here? But, like, you see, even talking about this kind of technology, you guys think it's so distant and so foreign and so scary.
It's right around the corner.
Yeah, but like to the next generation, that's gonna be their life. Like that's gonna literally be how they live life. Oh yeah, that's how they're gonna work. Like, for real though.
They don't have to drive. They can just go online, physically be at their virtual office, and be like, "Hi, how are you?"
Yeah, like no joke. Like honestly, that's and like really. If you guys
said your answer, Shukai, right? I want to make sure I heard your opinion.
Pardon?
No, I mean, like, if it goes as far as to having implants, I probably won't go with it.
Like, wait, Shukai, you're telling me, like, even if
it's verified, safe, like they made sure they did all the procedures, you still wouldn't do it, right?
With implants, no, I don't think so.
But what,
like right now, I'm doing it.
But what if it becomes as popular as like smartphones nowadays? Like everybody has the implant. Like literally, like people would like you're filing your taxes through your implants. Like they say, like, oh, we offer like implant transfer. Like literally, you can like scan your implant and then like your taxes are done. Like it's that convenient. Everybody like you pay with it. They ID.
That's the thing, right?
PayPal.
That's the thing, right? Like, if I were to tell anyone from back then, like, this smartphone will do everything, they would still, they cannot comprehend or imagine what it would be like. So it's like hard.
You're telling me you would still go around walking around with a credit card and your smartphone, even though like people have
a chip to put on your body.
People have the implant, and like everywhere they go, like they don't even need to.
You
like
shake hands with someone, you made a business transaction.
Yeah, like and then, like yeah, people like transferring data just through the chip. Like, oh, here, let me send you my business card. They just tap on their neck a little bit, and then beep. I was like, okay, got it. Thanks, man.
It's the Akasha, bro.
The Akasha system, like, bro.
Do you not
That's
see what
it seems
happens
cool,
in
right? It seems
Natacha's
cool in
system?
game, but in real life, that is
Scary, right? It's scary. Literally, you are one malfunction away from turning your brain into like scrambled eggs.
I mean, have you not seen Cyberpunk?
You see,
Yeah,
we're
your buddy
getting
get burnt up.
we're getting spooked by like pop culture, but like I get it. That's a legitimate concern. But once, let's say, 60% of the total population has this chip, like at that point, I would like I honestly would do it because like, hey, if I'm going down, I'm taking 60% of the population with me. I'll take those odds.
Right?
Like, that's gonna be
But here's the thing,
unprecedented level of
the only way I do it is if I'm like the leader of said tech, because at least I know what's going on. I know who's in charge. If I
no,
have
but
like a
no, but
basis,
you're
if you're
using
just like a commoner, you're being used, bro. I'm sorry.
no, but
I
you're using
can't
a smartphone right now, right? Like you're using a smartphone, you're on the internet, you're using all these,
Yep.
like you're signing up for all these like services like Facebook, Meta. Like, oh, don't worry, like Zuckerberg's gonna be zucking real hard in that future. Like, you think like
Alien.
Zuckerberg's after your
Reptile.
data now? No, he's after your brains, man, in the future, like the metaverse, bro. Like, but like if you don't adapt, you just like it's just like
Right,
I'm not
right.
like dogging on our grandparents, but like look at our grandparents. Like honestly,
Yeah,
I have to
alien
help her with
cards
everything
and bills and
technology.
email. Like people still use email, like physical mail to your. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, like
Typewriters, like you gotta stop at some.
typewriter. Like that's what I'm saying though. Like we are literally like if you refuse this tech, you are literally
yeah,
gonna become like
leaving
that.
yourself behind. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it. Here's the thing: I would use it for like serious stuff, like business, but like for having fun.
But I mean,
it
you already
depends,
have
you
it.
know?
If you have it for business, you can, like a smartphone. You have a smartphone for business. You can play Genshin. Like,
Right? Yeah, mobile phone. Yeah, I get you. I'm talking about linking, like the full dives. That's what I was talking about.
no,
Like,
but let's
the
say
only way I
that
would,
utilize the same tech, right? It's
yeah, yeah.
so you would get the implant. So you're saying like if it becomes that popularized, like it's become like the norm, but not the first wave. It won't be the first like like first year or two it comes out, you're not going to jump on it. But like maybe like 10-15 years after it's like introduction, it's grown substantially, the much more safe things happen, like what would safeguards around it, more protocols and all that stuff, adjustments. Would you be down for it?
Yeah.
Like then you would join the cause and be like, okay, it's good to go, like it's safe.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably wait for some time. Like, definitely not within the first year. Definitely.
Yeah, like at least good 3-something years, See how it is, what's on the news, what's going on. Once after like maybe like the third or fourth year, I may try it. But like being the first one, it just sounds like you're a guinea pig for something bad to
Oh,
happen.
for sure. You're definitely a guinea pig. Like at that
Imagine
point, you're
imagine
just
the
getting
first
data.
virus hits and everyone that gets it, they just fall dead. Like this flat out. Yeah, there's no symptoms, but their brain
No,
is just
I
gone.
can't
That's
imagine
the
something
scary
that
stuff.
big happening. Like if something that big happened, like think about it. Not in the history of any technological advancement has it gotten that bad. I mean, actually, no, I'm wrong. Wait, no, I take that back.
Sure, I know. I was saying
No.
like I'm sure something like
No,
that happened.
there
I just
was,
don't know what.
there was. Do you guys remember what was the name of that drug called? It was like a over-the-counter medication that had some substance in it that was like that caused like it was very bad. Like I can't remember the name. It was like a German brand. It was a German medicine that I think put people onto the spectrum or something. That was one of the side effects of the medication, and people were taking it like candy. People were just eating it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like and
People are rubbing the what they call radioactive powder on their face.
yeah, stuff like that. Like yeah. It turned people into titans. No. It was like it was like I don't even remember what the brand.
Wasn't there a drug that made you like act like a zombie and made you want to eat people and stuff? I heard that mess was scary. I don't know if it was true or not.
Oh yeah.
It
Monster
was an
says
old virus. Yeah.
Monster said it would make kids autistic or lose limbs or go blind. Yeah. It was that thing. Yeah. It was that thing. I think. Oh yeah, it was pregnant mothers were taking those pills. Like pregnant mothers were taking those pills.
Crazy.
Yeah, because it said it did not affect pregnancy, and they were like selling that like that. Yeah. And it caused it was flacca. Like it caused birth defects. It was like a German thing. Yeah. Never mind. Hey, you don't want to be one of
press no.
Yeah.
Don't be one of the first divers.
Yeah,
I feel like
if
that's
you're
with
one of the
anything
first full
though.
dive
Like anything.
and let's say it ends up like really like severely damaging your brain due to like a improper use of like tech and or like inefficiencies, and it just puts a huge amount of strain on your like brain,
Mental
and
capacity.
it increases chances of like getting a stroke or whatever the hell. Like I'm sure it's not like major. It's not gonna fry your brain. Like I know that for sure, but it's like it's gonna be something along the lines of like certain people with a certain medical condition, when exposed to this type of like wavelength or like whatever, it's gonna have some issues, and then they overlooked something like that. Right. So it's like, and then like people like that ends up really suffering. So then like maybe they will like they'll start making rules like you first have to like get approved for medical examination to like blood work and like genome testing
It's
to
the
make sure
same
you're
thing with
compatible.
games. You know
Yeah,
how they always have a warning symbol in front of it?
yeah, like
It's
careful
literally
for
that, but
flashing.
virtual. Yeah,
Yeah,
imagine that, but like actually 10 times worse because you're physically and physically, visually, pretty much all five senses. Right when you're in that full dive mode, you're basically there in essence.
and I think there will
And
also be instances where people like it's too real and people get so shocked that they panic and they can't log out, and then they get like
yep,
severe trauma. Like let's say somebody's like playing a horror game and then they get so scared, and then they're like hiding under their
I don't
bed,
know how
and
to leave
yeah,
out. Yeah,
and then they're trying to like
imagine. Yeah,
log
imagine
out,
playing. Yep,
and then they can't log
but they
out because
can't.
like they can't talk because they're so scared, right? Like, and then they're just like shaking
Or
and
they're
they're
too
like,
scared to hit the button.
yeah,
Yep.
and they can't even move. They're like just frozen in fear, and then they
Hmm.
have severe trauma or they go into shock because of that. That's like or like user error. Like
Well,
all these
too.
things can happen. It's just so it's impossible to pinpoint exactly how things can go wrong. And let's say like somebody like played around with the settings and then they got like stuck in there for like longer than they want to, and then they have PTSD because of that, right? Because they and then they wake up and then they're detached from reality, and all the sort of these like messed up things can happen.
I
Imagine
feel
that
like we kind
someone
of
could
just
go you
summarized
and
what
in a
happened in
nightmare.
3.1. Hmm.
No, I mean like when Warren said about being trapped in a horror game, I could also imagine that someone would just maybe make some malware and troll you, and then you get stuck in some nightmare.
Yeah,
What do you
repeatedly.
call it?
We won't be able to log out. They did
Yeah,
that
yeah,
in
you
this.
cannot log out.
They can take that button. The administrators can take that button away from you.
I
Now
mean, at that
imagine
time,
that.
the
Imagine
hackers
being
would be
stuck
more
in
advanced,
Resident
right?
Evil. Like, dude, you're screwed. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how, unless you're like a war veteran. Like, literally, you have experience. You know how to know how to handle. Like, you know how to get out of it. People claim like, oh, I can survive a zombie apocalypse. Oh, really? You grew up in the suburbs with silver spoon fed since you were 10 years old, and you think you can go out there and like, stop it.
You came
Stop the
out the
cat.
womb with a
Let's prepare.
shotgun.
Right, right. You think you're Rambo in this? Like, nah. People really think they can handle a zombie like Resident Evil games, for example.
But like,
Ethan, he's
yo,
an average dude, but
but can we all
in
agree
real life,
that
people can't handle him.
can we all agree though, like full dive live stream experience is gonna be like one hell of an experience. Like, can you imagine if
Oh yeah, it'll be fun for sure.
all viewers can watch you like in third person
And
perspective?
actually be in there with you. Like imagine like this chat, for example, like your live stream. Imagine every person that joins chat. There's a wall first, so they can't like this. Obviously, ruin your chat. You have to get approved by you, and you can actually see them, but they can't actually go into your world or virtual world. I think that would be cool. Like for example, your subscribers are the what you call it. The members, like the members can actually physically, like virtually, like interact with you and stuff, do games. But the people that are like just walking in, there's like a firewall, right? Like how they have in
Yeah.
those computers. They obviously those people they have to stay there.
Stanley says
And
Stanley says you
you
picked the wrong
that's
lane
it.
and can't exit.
Like,
Like, yo, where the
you
fuck
can
is
only
the
start
exit button?
Japanese. Like it's all in different characters. Oh, that would be my nurse nightmare because I don't know anything. I'm like, what does exit mean in this language? Like I don't know.
No, but like,
Imagine, yeah.
but I feel like that's never gonna be an issue. I think they're gonna just have an overall like prompt to exit. Like for example, like a wave your hand or like open like the menu or something. Like they'll make it universal. Just like because I think one of the biggest problems, if we can sit here talk for like 30 to an hour and think of this issue, they're definitely gonna have like people who realize that's
emergency
going to be a
problem. They better. Here's the thing. I feel like with a company that serious about risking your mental health and stuff, they have to have emergency ways to exit out, so that way you can't be addicted to that. Because if they don't, you basically get sued for like having an improper way to leave the game.
And also, I think when your heart rate like or something goes past a certain point, the thing just
It
terminates.
immediately kicks you out,
Yeah.
turns you out, kicks you out. So that way they can't say nothing bad happened. But there's always people with malicious intent, hackers, etc. They need to have like the best like antivirus protectors on the world, because if they don't, the people with malicious intent are going to mess with people. Like there's good people in the world and there's bad. Like just imagine being the first game, right? The first SAO in real life. And you first invent it, and here comes Death Gun, ready to ruin your day. Coming into your bed like no, man, I can't, because that guy was scary, especially what that dude did to Xenon. Like that's some frightening stuff. Like there's people that's like that, like they act nice and stuff, but they're young people that just have malicious intent. It's like it's funny to look at it, but at the same time, it can also be real and scary. Like they can hack into your information, find where you live and where your signal's coming from, and
no, but like
that.
But
yeah,
even now, because the thing is, for hacking nowadays, like it's very difficult for people to bypass and like go into your like system without you inviting them through like downloading some really messed up like free primo gems. Like I think it's gonna be
those offsites. Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
it's gonna be similar for full dive. Like for the most part, you should be safe. However, if you like constantly go onto like weird websites and like download stuff, and like try to claim
Black
stuff,
markets.
it's like you're just asking for problems. Like
at that point, it's on the individual. I agree with that. But I feel like with how clever people are getting, we have to, like, the people that are making the system should have to be 10 steps ahead. They have to think of every possibility of what's countering them. Otherwise, they're just going to get countered by the people doing bad stuff.
Yeah,
I think like once it gets a good, like, here's my take. My answer, because you already got Shuka's answer. My answer is no until at least a good 5-6 years down the line. Once I've seen everything, all the kicks, the bug fixes, updates, and all that, when the game's at its decent level, then I'll hop in and chill. But like the first testers, no, you're literally asking for a SAO hell experience, and I'm not.
Wait, you're saying even if like a super like hyped up game is like released within those 5 years, you're still not gonna go in, like you still won't do it.
Yeah, not physically, not like virtually, like putting on the phone. Like I'll play like online, like I'll have a
you'll play the online version.
I'll play the online VR. I'm like, hey guys, this is my avatar. It's not physically me, but nice to meet you. Give me some dash. But
that's actually interesting.
I'm not
like
putting my avatar in there.
Like I wonder if you're gonna be able to play the game online with people who are playing like in full dive. Like the character you see and interact with, like they're fully in there. Like wow.
You should be able to create your own avatar. Just like how they did with SAO, except they made everyone like the actual cells. Except you can actually, I think, what was it? I think the second season you can like create your character, because they fixed that issue.
Wow.
Where like I have my avatar self, and then you can have your real like look, perfect example, VTubers. Notice how they have their character, right? And they can move. That's basically what I would do. I would have like my own virtual avatar. But if people want to see the real me, they just have to accept me, and I'll give them a private, message invite. And I'm like, hey, this is actually me. I'm not catfishing you. I'm an actual guy. Face, hair. How some people, they like to switch their gender and stuff like that. I'm just like, look, I ain't here for that. Like, if you want to hang out with me, cool. But if you want to do something else, you're gonna.
But the thing is, there's no way people would like rate themselves for the most part. Like most people would just live a fantasy life, and they'll hide their like. It's gonna be much scarier. Like I'm literally gonna get oohed by like a 50-year-old man from Minnesota, and I'm gonna fall for it.
Hard for life. Old as Zong Li, but look like Ganyu or some weird stuff, man. It's like, that's what I'm afraid of, because think about it, in virtual world you can probably change your voice too, so you literally can hide everything about you, make you can be literally the complete opposite of what you are, and that's scary. I feel like there needs to be a law where you have to put in your information, like what you actually are. Before you put in the virtual.
No way people in the West would agree to that. Like in China they will. Like in China they probably, like Korea I believe even enforces that. Like if you want to sign up for this, you want to go in, you have to like register with your full legal like information.
Identification. I
But
agree.
like in the West,
I'm
like
not. Yeah, the West. Yeah, no, they like to have their freedom, and I want to be this and that. I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
bro, this is. If you really want to play the game, do you really care about all that? That's how I look at
Oh
it.
no,
Like, do you
they'll
care
try to
about your?
cancel the company for like or
Mm-hmm.
the rules first. Like no, like this is not
Keep
right.
doing. Yep, yep.
Yeah.
You won't
So
let me be myself. Yep, yep. I know. That's
I feel like if you have to use legal information to register, but you don't have to display that. Like meaning like the
yeah.
information stays with the company or whatever. But then again, if it's a private company, then of course people will be like, nope, 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 nope. You're gonna
Yeah, of course. If it's a private company, obviously
yeah.
don't give their information. But if it's like a company that's well known, they've been protective of their stuff for years. Like obviously have a trusted
You mean
source. Like that's what I believe it
Hoyoverse?
is. Like you listening?
Like
Hey up,
Hoyoverse.
give us the third anniversary. Better give us a new character. Like no. But I feel like if they want to have a trusted source like business funds, and they want to have a fan base where they can actually want a lot of people to trust them, they have to find a way to have security, self security. So that way, if someone asks, "Hey, are you this? Are you really this?" and they be like, "Yeah," and it shows that they're lying, like a red exclamation point. Wait, that's a creep over there. Get back! Like they need to have
Oh no!
safety
There's no way
precautions,
because if they do
right?
that, then they drives away a huge portion of the user base. Because look, like I'm willing to bet like there's a lot of people who would want to go live that fantasy life. That's the whole point of living the fantasy life is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you get
yeah.
to
Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
right, like you get to live as a
but I feel
completely
like
different. Like
yeah,
some
I
people
agree.
might want to
I
live as an
agree.
orc.
Or a dolphin.
Yeah,
This
like a
doesn't
female, like
like.
some 20-year-old might want to live as a 700-year-old like female elf from Alzenbridge or something.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think. There's got to be a fine line between like fantasy, like do
Shrek.
whatever you want, and as well as Shrek. Someone wants to be Shrek. Get out of my swamp,
Dude, people are weird, man. Say people
cool,
want to
bro.
live like
But
as a dog or something like that.
bro, there's got to be a fine line between it though. Like, sure, you can be whatever you want, but you have to put in something to verify your actual self. Like, I just don't. I'm not. Obviously, I'm not an expert in that stuff, but I feel like there has to be a middle ground because you can't just be 100% because how can we verify who you are, especially if that person is not they're doing good intentions. They have to find some way to get you. Just like how like with the Hoyverse accounts, they know that this person has been using like cheese or something. They can just track them down and get them. I feel like there has to be the same way with full dive. Otherwise, it's just going to be a hot mess. Like I
Actually,
agree, people can live however they want, but there's got to be something. I just don't know the right word for it. To have, like some type of protection.
hmm,
So I feel like safety is the most important. Without that, I don't think the game would go well. You know what I mean?
like I'm actually while we're on this discussion, like think
Yeah.
about how they can use that technology to for people who will go to jail.
Right. Yeah.
That's actually scary because you'd be like, say they can, let's say, stretch it to the extreme, like put you in jail for a week in your actual life, but then reinstitutionalize you for 25 years.
That's some scary stuff. At least you won't be bored. It'll feel like a week, but you've been in jail for 25 years. Your body's all
Oh
older
no,
and
but
shit.
like
You're like, oh, man.
that's a lot of psychological damage. Maybe not 25 years, but because that's like way too different.
Maybe
And
a month, maybe like a week in virtual, a month in real life. Maybe I think that would do it
yeah, and then
because I don't
like
think that's too much of a difference.
yeah, yeah, it's isn't that like a Black Mirror? Yeah, like pretty much like you can. If that technology exists, I imagine it's not just for entertainment. Because the first thing, like the government and always uses this stuff for, like the first thing they always go for is like militarized or like, like for
Combat stuff,
yeah, combat
right?
stuff, yeah, like
Protection.
training soldiers, like
Like those what's those pills called? Like those truth pills or something. I'm sure the military were the first ones to use that, right? Before they gave it to investigators and shit like that to test culprits if they're lying or not.
yeah,
So
exactly.
it makes sense. Like I get it. Yeah.
That's definitely gonna be a scary world to live in. Like just imagine you get caught for like, but
Stealing a cookie and here you
yeah.
go, take this pill. It's like, oh god.
Yeah, but the good thing is for misjudgments, like for people who get let's say, because right now, like it's very unfortunate. I saw a couple cases where people were falsely imprisoned for like 25 years.
Yeah,
Like,
that's BS. I agree. People that are falsely accused, definitely. I feel like there has to be evidence to show that they didn't Unless unless that corporate was so smart where they put the DNA all on this person, like that's like it's messed up, man, and what people can do. But I feel like there has to be a way to show proof that those innocent bystanders that they got sent to prison and stuff. Because I know a lot of friends and even people online that be accused for stuff they didn't do. I just wish there was a way to counter it somehow.
I mean, with this new
Besides, obviously,
tech,
cameras.
they wouldn't actually lose the years. It's just the psychological damage is so immense.
Ooh, now that I think about it, the full dive probably could be good on criminals that don't want to confess something. Put their ass in a virtual horror game, and they'd be like, "Okay, I'll tell this immediately." Log them out because they'll think that they're actually getting chased by like Lady Dimitrescu or some shit. Like, oh,
that's a whole slew of like moral like breaches of
moral dilemma.
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, if torture, like, because I'm not sure if it's like obviously it's illegal in some countries, but some like authority figures use that to get what they want. So I feel like that type of torture, the mental trauma, even though that is dangerous, I feel like it's better than physically harming someone. You know what I mean? Because you can still use people for labor and stuff, but
technically, psychological damage is much more difficult to heal than physical ones.
Okay, that explains it. Okay, I was wondering why they don't use mental horror traumas anymore.
Yeah,
that's why.
Because once that's they get scarred for life. Exactly. Like Steph Carr says, "Bro, what we talking about? HoYoverse is going to be so stingy that Genshin in full dive would cost 10K." Yeah, you know what? I hope that by then, HoYoverse grows out of their ways. I would imagine they run a similar.
They'll definitely have a new development for sure. I feel like they'll have different people.
It's not going to
be more open minded.
No, it's not going to be Genshin that costs money. It's going to be the gear that costs money. It's like right now, if you want to play Genshin on the highest graphics, you need to buy like I don't know, like $1,000 PC, right? Like $1,000 or like $1,200 PC. You can play Genshin on the max graphics. Not everybody has that, or you need a smartphone that's at least like $1,000 to play like the entirety of Genshin on like max graphics. Even then, the phone heats up, right? The gear is going to be the one, and additionally, if you want to pull for these characters, that's going to be like $300 worth of primos to be safe, to play on the safe side, or like 200 something bucks to be on the safe side, right? And I don't know like what kind of ways they're gonna like entice you, because right now, even staring at a monitor, like watching Nilu dance and watching like all these characters through the story and experiencing like, and you're just looking at it from outside, like you are fully aware you're in reality. You're just looking at a 2D character on screen dancing to some music, and you're already getting doki'd, right? Like your heart rate's increasing, blood
as long as they don't start
pressure.
Talking to you. That's what's creepy.
Yeah, like in the game, imagine if they like in full dive now you can actually smell them. Like you actually can get their scent. You can like see much more clear. Like they have much more details to them. The way their hair falls on their shoulders in the moonlight. Like, dude, you are fucked. Like you are so screwed.
You are in. That's what SEO is, though. People like to mess around with that stuff.
Yeah, and then like
but here's my thing: is how would they implement smell? Wouldn't they need a certain mechanic for that? Like, how would they know what something is if it's fixed, if it's a fantasy?
No. But the thing is, you are inside a full dive right now. We are only playing the game through visual and auditory. That's the only two senses we're using.
Yeah, seeing and hearing.
Yeah. Once you get inside, touching, smelling, and then tasting. Okay, you're not okay. I mean, sure, if you want to try cocoa goat milk,
their food, right?
Like if you like I'm
give me that honeydew, whatever that mess is called over there.
But like all these additional senses, we're not even using half of the 5 senses available. Like imagine like Shenhe leaning into your ear and whispering something. According to the story, like you're playing through the story,
she'll probably say something like, "If you touch me, I'll kill you." Because look at she doesn't seem like this.
Like, but it doesn't.
Yolanda will be the teaser, but Shenhe doesn't play them games.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
Unless she's close to you.
But just like the way that she can interact with you like that, like the Djinn side of us, literally like. That's it. The wallets open up. Like the wallet's opening up. Like it's happening.
You know what I thought something funny? You know what I thought something really funny, dude? You know the trials? Imagine you actually playing with Shenhe, right? Doing the whole bedroom scene, right? With the SAO, but right when it gets to the good part, the trial ends, kicks you out. You want to play with her? You can pay up, pull for her. I can see them doing that, man. That would piss off every week.
That this game gets really weird. Like with full dive, these kind of games get really weird, And I think
Hangouts will definitely be something.
yeah, like it's definitely gonna have much more restrictions. Like, trust me, the degens are just gonna have a whole field day. Like,
yeah, they're gonna simp. Yeah, they're gonna simp for all the
streamers.
waifus
Let's just put it this way: streamers are gonna be playing the game just as much off stream as they are on stream.
in stream. Basically, they won't have a life. Like by
Yeah,
the time they're off stream, they're having fun time with their favorite waifus.
yeah, that's crazy to even
Like
think
cons won't
about.
even be worth it.
Honestly, to be honest, I actually don't want to be a part of that society because it's just nothing you ever do in real life would
hella
ever
cringe.
would ever live up to those kind of
Yeah,
experiences. Like
it'll
those,
feel as good. Yeah, I get you.
yeah, those like carefully cultivated and manipulative predatory experiences and like baits.
I mean, that is just escapism at its finest.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. Escapism is definitely one of the a dangerous
but
traits.
it's much easier to force you to spend money and then keep you working IRL just so you can escape. Right? You basically work IRL and contribute to society in whatever way you can, just so you get the money and funds to go live this fantasy life. I mean that's what we are like right now. Like people who make a lot of money, like you want to go on vacations, like you literally making money so you can live life how you want to. It's just in the future, these companies will try their best to legally make it so that their products and their online experience or their full dive experience is going to be what you yearn the most in life. That's the goal. It's just to like farm you.
Right. I seen some great animation, especially the one with that Ida and Yelan scene. Like someone animated that scene, and it makes me think how good it would be if the Hoibergs actually use like actual decent animations to show their reactions and stuff. Like if it was like that good, I'd probably be more enticed to get into the Genshin VR world. But with the way they interact and show their facial expressions now, especially like Shinha, for example, it's hard to really read them.
Yeah.
Like Cersei was practicing her smiling. I think that would kind of turn me down a bit because it's like it's not as real as real life. Because in real life, you can see people's actual emotions, upset, sad. With Genshin, you can see it a little bit, like in the pre-rendered cutscenes, but in game, like when you're fighting world, you don't really see much of that. Like sure, they may blink or aim when they're shooting a bow, but you don't really see all that.
Yeah. Well,
at least like in the game.
With Moonlight, it's also saying it's getting late, so let's finish it off with Shukai here.
Okay.
Okay. I'm also about to go get lunch now.
Wait, what? What was that?
Yeah,
I'm about to get lunch soon as well.
You're saying you have to go as well?
Soon.
Yeah,
To
so
grab lunch.
yeah, we should end it here. I mean, it was a great talk. I always listen. This should just prove to you guys that I love talking about these kind of like. Look, we literally went on a tangent, and I can sit here and talk with you guys for another 3 hours, but I don't think I want to keep people around for that long to indulge my own like weird thought experiments. Like it's like I could.
All right, they might get bored. I'd be interested, but I understand the majority will
chat,
be like, "No, let's get to the gameplay."
Yeah, chat's not
like,
gonna
talk about the game 3.1. Yeah, they'll all leave.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, love these kind of conversations. If anybody else in chat eventually wants to hop on, during a live stream, we can always talk about certain things. We can pre-plan this stuff as well.
Yeah, I'd love to do this again. This was fun. In fact, I would prefer to do this more often. Mostly on weekends because that's usually my best days.
Yeah, Saturday. I think Saturday. I might even add like a new stream, like maybe on Sunday. We'll see. But yeah, like just talking about these kind of stuff. Like it doesn't always have to be talking about like what's going on in the game. I mean, we can talk about that too. But like running on tangents and just talking about random stuff and let our brains just run wild is always, it's always fun. Walrus, hop on the league? Sure. Yeah, let's go. Who wants to play?
Midnight league time.
Okay. All right.
I'm
gonna be on league.
Nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you guys as well. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Make sure to catch the other videos, like the stream, yada yada yada. The poll ended up at 47.53. So yeah, 47% of the chat is willing to take that huge risk as the first wave. Interesting.
All right, good luck to y'all, man. I can't. Nope. Sus, bro.
Okay.
Well, get it? They think it's gonna be all positive experiences. It's not. It's gonna be just like reality, just scarier.
Yeah. First thing you go in there, please select your occupation. like,
if you ain't got a good job, you are a low class server. It judges you based on your degree and if you pass high school. If you haven't passed high school, you get like literally that worker man farmer job.
oh my god, that's so sad. Yeah, better start grinding now, chat. All right.
Right to real life experience. All right. That was it.
All right.
Okay, see you guys next time. Peace.
See you.
Bye.
Peace.
Yeah, take care.